This is a Headgum podcast.
Hey, buddy, did you miss the big news? The Doughboys are doing a comic book. That's right, Doughboys the comic book, Mitch and Weiger Chew America, Crisis on Infinite Girths is coming soon, and you can pre-order it right now at brkids.com. Each Doughboys comic comes with a toy pack that's a random Mitch or random Weiger. You don't get to choose, but you do get to choose what you want to do with it. Wink. These comics are legitimately the most excited we've been about something at Doughboys in a while. The writer Alex Fearer and the artist Fred C. Stressing have done an incredible job. I mean, just look at this thing. You can see some of these pages here. And hey, I know somebody who's already enjoying it. It's a really, really cool thing that exists that you can own. And we'd love it if you would order yourself a copy. So go to brkids.com. Check out Doughboys, the comic book. We'll see you in the funny pages. The not-so-funny pages. No, there will not be a woman prime minister in my lifetime. The male population is too prejudiced. This was the response given in a 1970 interview with the Finchley Press by then-member of Parliament, Margaret Thatcher. Less than a decade later, Thatcher would go on to prove her own prediction wrong, ascending to become the UK's first female prime minister in 1979. Unfortunately, this glass-ceiling-shattering milestone is tainted by the fact that Thatcher was a truly massive piece of shit. Much like her American presidential contemporary, the racist bad actor Ronald Reagan, Thatcher engineered the wholesale destruction of her country's public sector, making the 1980s the decade of immiserating the working poor and transferring wealth to upper-class twits. Though unlike us Yanks, at least the Brits got to keep their public health care. But while Thatcher was busy laying waste to her nation's post-war gains in favor of a morally bankrupt ideology of greed, University College London friends Julian Metcalf and Sinclair Beecham collaborated on a quick-service food and coffee shop named after a French term meaning ready to eat, a play off the existing phrase ready to wear. Opening in 1983 in the London neighborhood of Westminster, after enduring a rocky first year, the chain quickly became entrenched as an institution in the Big Smoke and then throughout the British Isles. And in 2000, in a food-oriented retread of its proud tradition of colonization, the chain established its first North American outpost in New York City. As of 2025, it has approximately 700 locations worldwide, including about 40 in the U.S. While Thatcher and Reagan now both thankfully burn in hell, the damage these goblins did to both sides of the so-called special relationship has sadly outlived them both. But the British eatery with the French name established during Thatcher's reign thrives under the neoliberal global order the so-called Iron Lady helped make ironclad. This week on Doughboys, Pret a Manger. Welcome to Doughboys, the podcast about chain restaurants. I'm Tiger Weiger, along with my co-host, Donkey Kong, but he can't lift a barrel and doesn't eat fruit. The Spoon Man, Mike Mitchell.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
It's really good.
It is mean. It's funny.
Michael R. sent that in, roast@birdfuck.com. I think you could lift a barrel.
Lundy. I can definitely lift a barrel. I'll throw it at your ass.
Do you think that would... Oh, I'll fucking jump right over it. Or hit it with a hammer.
I don't think you can. I'll fucking throw my flames at you then next, or my springboards.
I don't think he throws the springboards. Or does he?
The springboards just will come then at some point.
Yeah, the flames come on their own out of the barrels. He might throw the springboards.
Okay. We're gonna have to do some research on this.
When's the last time you played like old school Donkey Kong? Because it's, you know what? It's a good game. It's really fun to play.
I haven't played it in a long while. Some of the, even like, you know, these like arcade cabinets from the 80s or whatever, or even Donkey Kong's 70s, right? It started, or
Donkey Kong was maybe exactly 1980.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are oftentimes like, you know, hard. They're not easy. You know
no, because they were the quarter munchers. They were the idea, the economics of it was that you'd have to keep putting quarters in to extend your play session. And as such, the idea was that you would die under 2 minutes.
And it also is that sort of thing now of like the controls are just like, it's hard to do because the controls aren't good. You know what I mean?
They've refined certain, you know, They've refined the physics of it. They refined how responsive the controls are. And then also there's just like feel things that you're used to in modern games. Like you can die from a fall in the original Donkey Kong, which doesn't feel right when you're playing a character who Jumpman is basically Mario.
Hey, he's Jumpman and he dies from a fall?
Mitch, preaching to the choir here.
He's not Fall Man.
He's not, well, that's true. He is not Fall Man.
No, that's a good point. But even if you jump and then land, like not just a fall, even if you jump and then land to too far of a height, you still will die. You still will perish.
You know what I really loved? Bubble Bobble.
Bubble Bobble was fun.
Bubble Bobble.
A little bit of a later game, but
I want to say that I have been on Doughboys before, and you guys have talked about Bubble Bobble.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I think that we are now reaching that number of appearances for me, where you guys are reusing Bubble Bobble references.
Did I talk about how I made it to the final level, like the final level of Bubble Bobble, and then someone tripped over the Nintendo power outlet?
Did I talk about I finished Bubble Bobble with my friend Brandon, who listens to the podcast? And
really?
When you finish it, they turn into real guys. It kind of sucks.
Wait, what? They turn into real guys?
They're like the dragon. It was like a curse that they were like, we can finally return to our real form, and they're just like guys. And you're like,
they're
what?
Guys?
I don't want to be guys. I like that they're little dragons.
That's insane. They're guys
crazy?
The whole time?
What a plot twist.
A rampage.
Same thing happens at the end of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game for NES, which I think they were just like, they didn't know the lore of it. And so you finish the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
And they turn into teenagers?
Well, no, it's just Shredder. But Shredder is like, now I can return to my true form. And he turns into a guy.
Wait, Splinter, you
Splinter,
mean?
I meant Splinter. Yeah, not Shredder.
Because Shredder is a guy.
Shredder is a guy. Sorry, I'll take this back. Splinter says...
You fucking idiot. You fucked it.
Splinter the rat says, I can return to my real form and turns into a guy.
Because they won? He can
Because they won, yeah.
What you guys have to remember is, like, me and Libby are really young, so the only games we know is, like, like, Fortnite.
Yeah. We know Fortnite.
I guess Call of Duty, but only the modern one.
Yeah.
I have to believe that there is a Splinter on Fortnite. There has to be Splinter. Have you ever? Do you remember?
I don't know if the
Splinter
Ninja Turtles are in Fortnite. I'm not sure.
The Ninja Turtles are actually in Fortnite.
They are okay. So you could be Donatello with a sniper rifle if you want.
Charlotte, who are you
shooting Ariana Grande?
Charlotte, what skin are you currently using in Fortnite?
My favorite, I do love a good, hot lady skin in Fortnite, but my go-to is always going to be the Xenomorph.
Oh, yeah, Xenomorph is fun.
Because now you can put shoes on them as well. So I like to put, the pink bunny slippers on the Xenomorph, and then have her do the little girly dances, and it makes me really happy.
Genius.
I like the Klebold and Harris skins for Fortnite.
Those are good. Those are a little edgy. The weirdest thing about Fortnite is that everyone is scaled to the same because the hitboxes have to match. So they're all scaled to the same size. So you could be like any character, Giannis is in it, but Giannis is the same height as Peter Griffin. It's this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
well,
Peter Griffin is the same height as Giannis?
Yeah, in the Fortnite canon.
What you have to remember about Peter Griffin is they made him really buff,
right?
Allegedly match that default Fortnite model.
Yeah,
which I'm still really mad about. I think it's one of the worst skins in Fortnite, which is why I grinded for 2 months to get it, because I really needed it in my collection just because of how awful it is.
You have to grind. You have to
to unlock it. Yeah,
really.
That one was in the battle pass. Yeah. I like good games as well, by the way.
They should just put Osama and stuff in. Why not?
Why not?
At this point, I think they could. Hey, speaking of good games, Mitch, I had something I wanted to say that might actually alienate our guests.
Cool.
But I kind of have this take right now.
Uh-oh.
There's this new game that's out right now, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, which is kind of the consensus game of the year right now. It's from a French video game studio, Sandfall, and it's this awesome modern take on a JRPG. It's super duper fun. It's really cool, and also of course, Rudy Gobert, French NBA player, having a great playoffs.
One of the originators of COVID.
One of the originators of COVID, but he's back. He had an absolute monster game, eliminating the Lakers. The Wolves are doing great as of this record.
Oh yeah, long COVID for him.
Of course, Victor Wembanyama going to be the new face of the league. And this week's chain even has a French name. Mitch, I think France is back.
No.
They're never back to me, those traitors.
No, France is back. They give us the Statue of Liberty, Mitch.
Yeah, but they're cowardly traitors. I can never forgive them for World War II.
I disagree.
You forgive them?
I think it's fine. Even all the Vichy France stuff too. That's fine too. Water under the bridge. I think France is back. I'm going on a pro French bit. That's gonna be my thing now.
Okay, what's next then? What are you gonna do?
Wee wee, say wee wee.
You're gonna wee wee?
Yeah.
You think it's French to wee wee?
Wee wee.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm doing a French wee wee.
The Minions, French, Mitch?
They are French.
Wait, they're Les Minions?
I mean, it's a French studio that, you know.
Les Mignons.
Yeah.
Les Mignons.
Do you know,
Director Pierre Coffin, French.
do you know after you guys,
Coffin?
Yeah.
if you guys complete the
Pierre
podcast
Coffin.
today,
Mm-hmm.
if you like beat the podcast today, Wags and I will return to our original form.
You're like headgum hunks.
Oh man, how fun would that
I
be?
love it.
Creatures.
Shed this chrysalis of doughboys.
They're guys. They're just
They're
little
fucking guys.
Are they tiny, or do they show like a full screen animated thing of like them as guys?
They show full screen animated full frontal.
Hey,
No, they're little guys. They're the same size as like Bub and Bob or whatever their actual names are, but they just like have like human skin.
in Rampage, they are little nude. They're little
They are
nudies, and I like how they walk sideways off screen holding their genitalia.
It's
they're
fun.
They're different genitalia,
And
which
it's the
depending
one-
on
The one thing you remember from the game that they decided not to put in the movie for some dumb reason.
Yes.
It's like, but just throw that joke in there. Have that. Why not have that?
Why
you know?
not have them be? It would be fun to see them be a
It'd be fun.
human after they got beat. But you know,
What
whatever.
if at the end of the game you turn back into your original form, but the only thing that changed was that your dick got smaller?
What the fuck?
This sucks.
I'd be in big trouble.
I mean, for me, that's at least heading in the right direction.
We'll get you there.
Mitch, I know you have a drop to play.
Yeah, Amelia, hit him with a drop. Wow.
Butterfly in the sky. I can go twice as high.
Too much books.
It's
Too much books.
a reading rainbow.
Jesus.
The hell was that?
Hi, Doughboys and everyone. Let's hear it for literacy. Shout out to Kinsey and Alex and little Sophie. Love you all, Ivan in North Carolina.
Wow, thanks, Ivan.
Charlotte, let's not do that for our podcast.
This seems like an awful thing to get locked into doing every
10
single
years.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, 500 episodes. We open the show with someone sends in an insult, and then we listen to.
So you guys like nutting or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Horrible
Mm-hmm.
amalgamation of clips from our shitty podcast.
We talked about him a little bit. I want to say thank you to Donkey Kong.
Thank you to Donkey Kong.
Thank you,
He's-
Donkey.
he's
Thank you for all
he's-
you've done. We
Thank
were very
you,
excited
Donkey
for
Kong.
Thank you, Donkey
Bonanza.
Yes,
Bonanza.
Bonanza looks very
Yes.
good.
Yeah, still at it.
He's still at it all these years later. He's got some work done. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah.
That's fine though. Like what?
Yeah.
Like
He's
that's
got a new
fine.
look.
Yeah.
He's got a new look. Dong Kong, my famous character that
Yeah. Of course, we know your famous character from your SNL reel, Don Kong. The human being who
Do you guys
inspired
know
Donkey
this?
Kong. Well, it's interesting though, Mitch, because like if you extrapolate the Don Kong lore, that would mean if you finish the Donkey Kong, he might turn back into
He
a
might
guy.
turn into Don
Don
Kong.
Kong.
that could
That
be
could happen.
lore.
That could
Yeah.
be yeah.
Yeah.
It could be
Yeah.
canon.
For a character on my SNL reel, I just wore a red tie, shirtless, and was like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Don Kong, the inspiration for Donkey Kong." And Shigeru Miyamoto, he came into my shop. I had a barrel shop,
Right.
and then Shigeru Miyamoto was loitering, so I threw barrels at him.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "I'm going to put you in a video game." I was like, "Oh, really?" And then that's how the relationship started.
And then Lorne Michaels is watching that. It's like, this can't be on TV. It's too funny.
You meant that sincerely.
I did mean it.
I know, but people are going to think you're joking, but he meant that sincerely.
I like Don Kong.
Can I tell my Miyamoto story real quick?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
I interviewed him.
Wow.
I think it
Wow.
was Mario Maker. I
Okay.
was making a YouTube video for it, and it was so nice to meet him. It was that's one of my favorite pictures. It's like one of the only like pre-transition pictures I will look at because of how happy I am to just like have my arm around that man. And I never posted the video because a Nintendo employee fell asleep in the background of it.
Wow.
And I was so embarrassed about it that I blew out the whole thing. I was just like, I can't do this. I met the guy, so it's good for me.
That's
but,
amazing.
I mean, he's like, we've talked about the McList.
Yeah.
And Shigeru Miyamoto is a guy who's on the
Yeah, open invite. If Miyamoto wants to come on Doughboys and review McDonald's, we'll do it.
he
wow.
is. I mean,
He
for
is,
both
yeah,
of
he's
us,
on the
Shigeru Miyamoto is up there.
Yeah.
I'm sure, Charlotte, that employee was probably just really tired because they'd been working like 120-hour weeks to get, Pikmin 3 finished or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100% do not blame them
Yeah.
or even the cameraman I was working on because I only could afford to hire one other person who was doing the close-ups, and it was in the wide shot that nobody was checking. So the blame ultimately falls on me for that one.
No.
Was it that sort of thing where he was just standing still for a few seconds and then he went, I'm tired, and then sat down?
Right. Kind of wavy idle animation.
Yeah. He said something about spaghetti.
Yeah.
Just like one of his random lines and then falls asleep.
God bless. What was his name? Who did the voice? He's retired. He's
Charles
Charles
Martinet.
Martinet.
Charles
Yeah.
Martinet.
Yeah.
Bring back Martinet for
Yeah, he's
crying
great.
out loud. Wags, I'm a little nervous with you because
Why's that?
I haven't done it so far. I've been trying to be very nice because we're close to tour, and I'm afraid that I'm afraid
You think
that
I'm on edge a little bit.
I think
'cause
you're
don't
on
like
edge.
traveling.
I think you're a little, and Amelia just gave a big nod over there.
You think I'm on edge?
No. I'm disagreeing with you.
Yeah, we think you're on edge. I'll speak for everyone. We're nervous. We're
I'm
going.
nervous. I get a fucking airplane.
I know. It sucks.
Actually, I did see Nick downloading the Klebold skin on Fortnite. Watch out.
Me telling Casey, don't show up to Headgum tomorrow.
Conover, you're a good guy. You shouldn't come in tomorrow.
No, I'm doing great. We're doing great. We've had a binge of records in anticipation of the tour. It's always a whole thing because we have to cover
Yes.
those weeks where we're away.
It's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna
Just
be fine.
don't get mad.
Everything's gonna be fine, and I'm not on edge.
Oh, it seems it. Okay, good.
Dropsatbirdfuck.com. Mitch,
Mm-hmm.
but partly because of the tour, partly where everyone's got their own travel plans. Emma's not here today. Jemmy's not here
There's
today.
no Jemmy in this.
No
seat.
Jemmys.
It's like the Christmas Carol. I see a seat where Jemmy is not sitting.
Speaking of sleeping on camera, that's what Jemmy's favorite activity.
I know.
But Mitch, we do have a couple of great guests
She's very
on the
cute.
podcast.
Yes,
And you and I are both Yanks, if you will.
we are. Yes,
We're Americans.
Yeah.
And you ever run across some sort of British thing and you're like, the fuck is this? I don't know what this is.
Why?
Will someone explain this thing to me?
Right before we started,
Yeah.
I talked about being upset about birds. I
Yeah.
was talking about someone being upset about birds, and I realized birds is a word for
A lady.
It's a
Gals.
lady slang.
A fit bird is
Yeah.
like a
That's
woman
right.
you want to,
That's right. Yes.
do something with.
Take to tea. Yeah.
Take
Take
to
to
tea.
tea.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Is that an innuendo, or is that?
No, I'm talking about shagging.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
And
thought
is that an innuendo?
Need to get a diagram out.
Well, they have a new podcast exactly for that purpose. Host of the new podcast, What's All This Then? Charlotte McDonnell and
Wow.
Libby Watson. Hi, Charlotte. Hi, Libby.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks so much for being here.
Hi.
All
Thank you for having
yes.
us.
Quick
Oh my God, of
question.
course.
First question right off the bat. A hot topic. Here we go. Right off the bat. Firing
Yeah.
questions at you. This
Okay.
is like hardball.
Yep.
If you said shagging in America,
Yeah.
pre-Austin Powers,
Ooh.
what does that mean? Do you think people get it?
I think people would think it was a baseball reference.
I
What?
actually don't think you're wrong.
In baseball,
Actually, hold on a second. I
Yeah.
do think you're wrong, but go on.
like shagging like fly balls out in the field.
Wags, I do
that was
think
the
you're
only-
right.
That was
I
the
think
only
you're
usage
right.
I ever heard of it before Austin Powers.
Damn, I guess I need a podcast by Americans. It's called like, What's All This Then?
All right, take it
I think
easy.
you said it earlier. You're like, what the fuck is this?
Yes, you're right. Yes. What the fuck is
What the fuck
this?
is this?
Shagging fly ball. That would.
Shagging
You know what's
in
funny? I have
baseball?
such a connection with Austin Powers when I was playing baseball because I think
Right.
Austin Powers 1 or 2 came out when I was playing baseball.
Oh.
And someone would say they'd like that your old coach would be like, all right, go shag some fly balls, and you'd be like, you think it was funny? 'cause you
Yeah,
remember Austin
yeah.
Powers.
So that makes me Randy,
Groovy.
baby.
Yeah. I do wonder. I don't think that. I think Austin Powers. Now, if you said like they're gonna shag, I think people are like, oh, it means they're gonna, they're gonna have sex.
Fuck.
Some people, other people might not know, and that's just the beauty of America. It's such a diverse place.
It is. It's a great spot.
Yeah, we love it here. It's the best. So I guessed it on your podcast. My episode, I believe, should be out as of this episode's release. We talked about Greg's. So Greg's was a black box to me. I did not know what Greg's was, although I'd heard of it before we did the podcast. Can we explain to Mitch what Greg's is?
I was just thinking black
I said
bag.
black box, but you were thinking black bag because of the Soderbergh film. Yeah, it is a bit of a black bag in terms of you're like, what's in this bag? I don't know.
Yeah.
But Greg's is what we landed on, at least what I landed on, is it's roughly equivalent to like kind of a UK Dunkin'.
Yes, I think that is absolutely true. And also, Lewis, my husband, who's from Massachusetts, came to that conclusion independently. So it is for sure the British Dunkin'. How would you describe it, Charlotte? Sausage roll place?
Sausage roll place. I mean, the interesting thing about Greg's is it used to be a bakery. So they would have lots of lovely breads and things. And then they also had like, a hot shelf with sausage rolls and other like pastry items. And since then they've discovered that the hot stuff is what's really selling, specifically that sausage roll. That's their really big hitter. And so they've gotten rid of the bread now, and they've also sort of like added in like pizza slices as well.
Oh, they look fucking rank.
Yeah, those look bad.
Yeah, they really look bad. But it is like the most popular, like in terms of just like getting a quick bite to eat like some hot food. It is the biggest one in the UK.
So this is. So sorry to interrupt. This is the idea of a hot shelf is something we were talking about earlier today.
Yeah.
It's the idea of a hot. I mean, I'm not picturing an attractive shelf.
No, you're thinking of an hourglass shelf.
I'm not thinking of an hourglass. I think that would be. That's not. It would not. That doesn't make any sense structurally.
Shelf with big titties is what you're thinking right now.
Well,
the fit bird's got a hot shelf.
That is horrid. That is so horrid. What would it be?
Hot shelf.
I think it'd be a big ass, right?
Yeah,
It'd be like
shelf.
an ass that kind of goes out like a shelf.
Oh, like the Kim Kardashian picture where she's got the coupe of champagne on her butt. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which seems like it could be useful. To, you know what I mean? If you like place something back there.
Much like Homer balancing his beer on his beer belly.
Yes.
Bellied champagne on bottom.
Hey, that is a fat guy thing you can do.
Oh,
you can put something on your belly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wally and Irma love to sit on the belly.
Yeah,
it's very cute. But they go between they're big between the legs.
Digby does too.
Yeah,
between the legs.
Cute.
And it kind of mummifies you when you sleep. That's the only issue. You can't really move.
Oh, the number of times that I wake up during the night and I am twisted. Like I am my legs are in one position and my spine is in another, and Digby is pinning me down and I can't move. It's definitely not good for me.
The cat owners outnumber non-cat owners here today.
That's what I was going to say, because Charlotte, you're a fellow cat parent.
I am indeed.
My
cat is called Gideon.
Gideon.
So I live in Canada. He is from the UK, so he also migrated.
Wow.
Over
I
with
think I
me.
knew that. That's so nice.
Yeah. He grew up on the streets of East London.
Wow.
As part of a little gang of cats that was being fed by an old lady in the backyard. Or back garden, as we would say.
Yes, we would.
And so I came over one day and...
Write that one down, another
crazy.
episode topic.
When you were talking about shagging, the thing I thought of was I've run into trouble because when you say you have to peg it in the UK, that means you're going to run really fast. And I have run into some issues.
It means something a little different here. Yeah. It means something just a little bit different here.
Put this on the Wikipedia. The debut of the Peg Brothers bit on Doughboys.
That's what when you beat the podcast is. We've now turned to our true form and we're just pegged. That's the only difference. I want to say to get back to the hot shelf.
Yeah.
Yep.
A thing I did not know, and it does tie in today's episode. There just is like a hot case, right? Is that what a hot shelf is, basically?
Yeah. Does Greg's? Is that a hot case store? Do they have a hot shelf there, or is that like because Pret Manger? We'll get into in a second, but
Yeah, I mean...
That's a thing that's more common in UK chains, it seems like.
I think marginally more common, to have it on the consumer side rather than, like, if you went to, for example, a 7-Eleven, you'd say, can I have that hot dog there that's rolling in the thing? What would you call that?
The roller.
The hot dog roller.
Yeah.
Hot dog roller. Okay.
How common are hot dogs in the UK? Is it not a thing you see in like a 7-Eleven or anything like that, or no?
I'm interested in Charlotte's take on this, but I would say the sausage is more common than the hot dog.
Yeah, so the sausage roll, as you were saying, is the Greg staple.
I think in the UK you want a good sausage most of the time. You're looking for some bangers, honestly. A banging banger to go along with your mash, ideally.
That's right.
I feel like hot dog. I always associated hot dog as just bad sausage I don't want. That was my thing growing up.
Yeah, I think that's true. I definitely like associate it with America. Like I actually have a very strong memory of when I was at uni and they were showing the Super Bowl in the student union, and this would be at like 2 a.m. or something, and they were serving curly fries and hot dogs, and that was like the American food that you could get.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was anyone there?
It was packed.
People wanted to watch the Super Bowl at 2 a.m.?
I remember this. It was the Saints and the Colts, and everyone was absolutely going crazy.
I remember that Super Bowl.
It was a good Super Bowl. It was like a really good game. Yeah, exactly. And we all went crazy.
That's a thing they say in the U.S. that people are watching all over the world that I always, even when I was a kid, I was like, there's no way people are watching this out. But people actually do. That's crazy.
Was that post-Katrina, too? Is that like when post-Katrina? I think it was. But look, that doesn't matter. I think I was in Disneyland with the birthday boys for that Super Bowl.
It would have been 2010.
Yeah.
2010.
Yeah. So post-Katrina, Saints win.
I mean, it's several years removed, but
that was part of the narrative. I remember,
right, for sure,
the recovery or whatever.
Do you have 7-Elevens in England? Is it 7:23? You guys are on military time there or no?
You fucker.
God.
Hold on.
No, that was good. Because of course we would say 23
It was
o'clock,
good.
wouldn't we, Charlotte? We'd say 2300.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
Would you like to shag at 2300?
They do military time over there. They love time.
The 11
over there.
is 11 o'clock, so they say 23 because it's military time.
Yeah.
You've got me, because look.
Well. Look at this, Wags.
Military time.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah, it's like one of the few things I've not adapted. No, Charlotte, we don't really have. I don't think we have 7-Eleven, do we?
We don't have 7-Eleven. I'm thinking of Spa.
Oh, Spa.
That's probably the most similar in the UK. Spa.
Spa. Yeah, SPAR.
Oh, there's an R in there.
Spar.
Yes.
Spar.
Yeah, it's like a corner store type place. I don't know. I don't remember whether Spa had hot food like that. But I feel like the Greg's thing and the Pret a Manger thing of having like a select few, and this is important, a very select few, if you are allowed hot options a lot of the time. I mean, obviously there are places where you can go and get a hot sandwich and stuff. I'm sure in London or maybe Manchester, where I grew up.
Right.
If you were allowed a hot meal, it was from a hot shelf.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What area did you grow up?
So I grew up in a really small village outside the town of Banbury, which is about an hour and a half away from London.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Charlotte, you're from Bath, correct? I learned this on the podcast.
I am indeed from Bath. I did also, similar to Livy, I grew up in a village just outside of Bath.
Wow.
Which makes us both seem more quaint and English as well, which is nice. We both grew up in little villages. Yes. But Bath is really nice.
When I was a little boy, I visited Bath.
You had one bath when you were a kid. Yeah, you've said this before.
I visited Bath. I didn't visit the bath. I visited Bath.
I think you can say Bath.
I visited Bath.
You can say Bath.
You can say Bath.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah.
But you drink the bath water, right? There, I had the bath water there.
Yeah, it's a natural hot spring.
Yes.
I feel like, because there is also a Roman bath there, which is because the town was originally like founded by the Romans, and so like it was called Aquasulis before that. So you can go and visit the old Roman baths, but the water there is like full of like green algae, so you don't want to drink that. The natural hot spring stuff you can drink, but it does taste rank.
It was weird. I remember, I just unlocked a memory of when I was in 2nd or 3rd grade when I went to London. My sister got mono.
Oh no.
She couldn't go. She was in middle school. And so she couldn't go. And my dad and I went with my godparents' family. And I just unlocked the thing of being in Bath, drinking the bath water, and having fish and chips.
Yes.
Nice.
Fish and crisps, I believe. Oh, it is fish and chips.
Yeah, no, yeah. You overcorrected.
Overcorrecting, but we really appreciate the spirit of the overcorrection. Yeah, unless it was maybe it was crisps. We could save you by saying it was crisps.
I know it was fish and chips. It was, and it was rolled in a newspaper, I believe.
Yep, that's the way to have it. Yeah,
Wow.
Wow.
I want to give a shout out to my favorite hot shelf item, which is the Cornish pasty.
Yeah,
that was the big one for me. I did not have a lot of sausage rolls growing up. I had some at school, but mostly if I was going out to get like a hot bite, a little hot lunch to take away with me. Specifically, I would get the cheese and onion Cornish pasty. But my dad lives in Cornwall, so I used to go there and get the authentic ones, and they are proper good.
Yeah,
we haven't.
We went to Cornish.
Yeah, we went to a chain, and we talked about this on y'all's pod about a called Cornish pasty, which is in Arizona, and yeah, that's the place we remember, Mitch, where the server told us we were asked about pronunciation because a lot of Americans say pasty.
Right.
And he was like, pasty is for lips, pasty is for nips. It's like a real bro.
Yeah, he was a real bro. That guy ruled.
Yeah.
he sounds great.
He was great.
Maybe a possible Patreon goal for us, Charlotte, for me to go to Arizona to go to the Cornish pasty.
I wonder what you think of it.
So sorry if you can hear the banging around.
Gideon's
my
being
cat
a
just
Gideon
decided
is
to
here.
jump on my desk.
being a total wanker.
What a
Look at
cutie.
him.
Is that Lewis and Digby on your phone, by the way?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Very cute picture of Lewis and Digby on the phone.
He pretends he doesn't love it, but he does. He loves it so much.
What's your? Do you have your cats in your background? Your Wally and Irma?
Oh, that's so nice.
Oh,
Adorable.
that's nice.
Oh, look at this now.
Of course,
Look
we
how
got-
cute. This is Nick's version.
What we got in my background?
I know what this is.
Ghislaine Maxwell at Mindy Kaling's book party.
Mindy Kaling's book party?
Yeah.
All the things that we all hold most precious.
I want to ask, because we brought up 7-Eleven, and this is always the question that I think Americans are fascinated by because, this is the prism through which we view the world.
Yep.
What are the American chains like in the UK? Like, you obviously you got your McDonald's, your KFCs and the like there. You got your Subways. But, like, are there any American chains which British people are particularly have any sort of affinity for, or that where you notice, and you're both living in North America now, any sort of, like, big differences between what's in the stateside varietals?
Let me guess. You love Burger King?
You can't say that over there, Mitch.
Oh, you can't say Burger King?
No, you can't. No.
That's ridiculous.
I did eat a lot of Burger King.
Wow.
Actually, growing up, I was
Me
a big.
too.
I think because I was very picky when it came to burgers, and I didn't want any like pickles or any of that. I didn't want any sort of anything resembling a vegetable. So at Burger King, I could get the bacon double cheeseburger, and it was all just meat, cheese, and bread, and I was very happy about that.
Charlotte, that's so crazy because that is my exact story. Is that
No way,
Yes,
Libby.
I didn't. We never went to McDonald's because I didn't like the pickles, and so we went to Burger King, and I got the bacon double cheeseburger.
So I didn't interrupt you. We had another British guest who called them gherkins and said the gherkins were ghastly. No one liked the gherkins.
Yes, and also, can you just check with me next time you're going to have a British guest on?
Well, it was before he did the podcast.
Okay.
We would never do that.
The gherkins were ghastly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ghastly or
That's such a
ghastly?
good-
Yeah.
Ghastly gherkins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually,
GASSLY or something, or like GHASTLY.
yeah, the GH one.
Ghastly.
What did you think I said?
Ghastly.
No, not like ghastly.
Okay, I think like ghastly. Gas, like it gives you gas. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Did you guys have Dairy Queen?
Not anymore. It's
As an
Dairy
Irishman,
King,
I'm
isn't it?
pissed off.
Yeah, you should be. And you're right to do so. And I'm really sorry. I'm sorry to all Irish Americans.
Thank you.
No, I don't really think that we had a lot of American chains other than the ones you named. Like
Yeah, sure.
Burger King, McDonald's, KFC were the main ones. There are a lot more American chains in London now. I feel like since I have left the country, there's been a bit of an explosion of like American food.
Interesting.
In England, and in general, I think the food has gotten better as well. Like more
Right.
flavors. But yeah, I don't really think we. Charlotte, did you have any chains outside the big ones in Bath?
I was just thinking a big one for me was actually Domino's.
Domino's.
And I do
Domino's, of
still
course.
think that Domino's in the UK is like it's the best Domino's I have ever had. was the one in the UK.
Fuck.
That's my
Makes me want to
the
know.
specific garlic and herb dip that you get in the UK is unmatched in my opinion.
We called it the cum dip because it looked like cum.
Oh, yeah.
that's fun.
We love that.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah,
If this is
we're
what makes you
crazy.
go to London, Is the Domino's?
I have to
they
go
got better
get the Cum
Domino's.
Dip, yeah. That's interesting that you say that, Charlotte, because in 2015, I had to go back to the UK for like 2 months while I was waiting for a visa, and it was fucking hell. And while I was there, I got really sad because I missed America, and I was like, I'll order Domino's. And I remembered having it a lot when I was at uni. We used to get like a book of coupons through the door, so we would always get 2-for-1 pizzas at Domino's.
Wait, is this because I know you like me, fellow Bruin, went to UCLA, but like, was this your time when you say uni in the UK?
Yeah, so I did a year at UCLA and then 2 in the UK. I ordered pizza and I got it and I was so excited to eat it, and it was shit. It was so bad. But maybe that's just Banbury Domino's, you know? Maybe that's just the Banbury Domino's experience.
Hey, they're all
maybe you've got to go to Bath to get the Domino's.
The best, yeah.
Specifically, that's the best one.
Well, when you had Brendan on, did he tell his story about Brendan James?
Yes.
Did he tell his story about going to Pizza Hut and it just being absolutely devastating? I think he probably did. Because when he studied at Oxford, it was one of the first stories that Brendan ever told me.
We reviewed Pizza Hut with Brendan. I remember getting into this. I can't remember if it was on or off pod, but we definitely talked about it.
Well, and he said that, he went to the Pizza Hut that was on the high street in Oxford, and he was like so excited again to have this little taste of home. And it was so bad that he just like left and like walked home in the rain, and he was just like so depressed about this bad experience he had. But again, maybe pizza has improved.
Can I guess another one that you guys would love over there?
Yeah, please. Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Burger King, Dairy Queen, White Castle.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
We do have a lot of castles.
We do.
Good pull.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
It is a good pull. Thank you. Thank you, Charlotte.
We do have castles. It's true.
I just like it's a thing, and I know this about the British Isles, but it's just like, there's the Romans were there. There's like Roman ruins and shit. That's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's old.
Yeah.
It's old as fuck.
Yeah.
What are the dungeons? What are the dungeons?
What are the dungeons?
What's the dungeon?
What's the dungeon?
Is the Tower of London?
Tower of London, yes.
Is that where the dungeon? Is that where they? Is that where it was?
I was confused by your question because we simply had so many dungeons.
Do you have a lot of dungeons?
We were putting people in dungeons all over the fucking place. Actually, yeah.
Dungeons are fucking
Dungeons
cool.
are cool.
Dungeons are cool.
I remember reading that like they have trouble translating dungeons, the word for Dungeons and Dragons, when they're localizing it into other languages, because it like doesn't quite mean what dungeons means.
Yeah.
Like what a dungeon was before Dungeons and Dragons kind of redefined it as like an underground labyrinth with treasure is like that's like an invention of fiction, you know?
Yeah.
Because like an actual dungeon is like something entirely different.
Yeah. I grew up very close to Warwick Castle, which is a good castle to visit if you go to the UK.
Warwick Davis Castle?
No, actually, no, totally unrelated. Yeah.
That would be cool if it was Warwick Davis Castle.
Yeah, it would be cool. Yeah. I don't know if I really have anything else to add to that. I don't know if I've got a riff on that.
That'd be pretty cool.
It would be pretty cool.
It would be cool.
Yeah.
That's all we're looking for.
Yeah, that's what we're
fine.
looking for.
Yeah. Anyway, they have something there called the oubliette, which was a part of many castles, and it's French for forgotten.
Okay.
And it basically was a hole that they would throw someone down so they slowly died. And it was like just big enough for a human body. And you can go and there's literally like an escape room there.
Wow.
You Brits are wild, man. With that, with some of the, I guess you say that that it's very self-loathing over there, self-loathing over there, which makes sense because
we suck.
Well, no, I'm just saying you come up with such torturous devices that makes sense.
Yeah, it's true.
I just watched this Japanese movie from the 60s, Onibaba, and which means demon woman. Have you seen Onibaba?
Yeah, I know of Onibaba, but I have not seen it.
Yeah, I'd never seen it, but like there is an element of like luring a samurai to just fall into a hole. It's like, what a horrible fucking death. You just fall into a hole and like you probably don't die instantly, right? You just like very badly hurt yourself and then slowly die in a pile of your own like goo.
This is why FromSoft games are so good.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they have that sadistic approach.
Captures that feeling.
Yeah. How haunted is it? I mean, it's a very old place. How haunted would you say England is?
This is a tough question for me to answer because I don't believe in ghosts.
Yeah, I was going to say ghosts aren't real, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, no, this is good.
I'll say it's very spooky. There's definitely a lot of
You're not spooked at all if you're at an escape room that's above like a 500-year-old hole, that people got thrown down.
I'd be a little scared near the hole. Yeah.
Wait. Sorry. No, I'm not scared if I'm at an escape room. No, you fucked my joke.
I took it from you.
I was going to say...
I sniped it, sorry.
Yeah, not scared if I'm at an escape room near your mum.
Leave her name out of your mouth.
I'm really sorry. She sounds lovely.
What's the ghost skepticism level behind the dais? Where are we with ghosts back there?
Very skeptical.
Very skeptical. You don't believe in ghosts or ghoulies or anything?
Really?
Casey, what do you think?
You're an Italian. You don't fucking believe in it?
I'm pretty skeptical. I've never had an encounter, so I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Here's what I'll say about ghosts.
Oh, all you geniuses. We know more than the universe. We know everything. It's all science. There's no intermingling of spirit. It's only science. It's molecules. You fools.
Look, dude, I fucking love science. So, here's what I'll say about ghosts: is that I have very low tolerance for certain kinds of mystical beliefs. Like when people talk to me about star signs, I want to fucking kill them because I'm like, that's just made up. What the fuck are you talking about? It's so annoying that you would even think to say to me that you know what I'm like.
Stay away from Hollywood Boulevard.
I know, and I have no tolerance for that, but. With ghosts, I have a lot more sympathy for people who think they have seen ghosts because the human brain can do some crazy stuff.
Yeah, sure.
And I absolutely believe that you could have an experience that feels only like it could be a ghost, you know? I just kind of feel like I'd know by now. Like it would have been in the paper if we were sure about ghosts, you know? Like it might have been on the news.
It has been in the paper, but, you know, certain papers.
Different papers, yeah.
I can't deny the fact that even though I do not believe in ghosts, I am still sometimes scared of them.
Yes.
Like if I am in a big old house and there's no one else there and it is nighttime and it is a bit cold, it's still going to like kick in like the natural instinct to be like, ooh, but what if?
Yeah.
Like, is there going to be? So even I do get it from that front.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
you guys are I'd say you guys are responsible for the most famous ghost man who's afraid of ghosts is Scrooge. He's Scrooge is the most
visited by three ghosts famously.
He's visited by three ghosts famously. One of the oldest examples of a human being scared by spirits is
I don't know
Scrooge.
if it's one of the oldest examples.
I would actually have said,
it's up there.
I probably would have said Macbeth actually, but
well, once again another example of a Brit.
Yeah.
Macbeth. Billy Shakespeare is a fucking Brit, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, he is.
That's right.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And he's good, isn't he? I think he's good.
You have so many topics you could cover with Mitch because
I can't wait. Mitch, I would like to formally invite you to come on What's All This Then, and we can debate
Talk
ghosts.
about Billy Shakespeare? Oh, we'll talk about ghosts. I'd love to.
We could talk about ghost tours, Charlotte. I bet there's some really good ghost tour content.
You guys do have the most.
Yes.
There's a lot of ghostly activity in the UK.
Yeah. Like Edinburgh famously has a lot of very stupid ghost tours that you can do. Maybe I'll do one because I'm going to be there soon. So.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Are you doing a show there?
No, I'm just going on holiday.
Oh, that's
It's just
great.
really funny to think, Charlotte, is it even crossed your mind that we would ever do a live show?
Actually, when I was at the guys' live show recently that our friends, the Go Off Kings, were on, I was thinking, what if What's All This Then reaches this level, and maybe I can watch like a live podcast show that isn't just five white guys. I think that would be really, really fun. It was really good, just to be clear. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Hope everyone enjoyed the Doughboys tour.
We gave you actually more than five white guys. There was.
I want to ask about I want to ask about coffee because my understanding is that the chain that we're covering today is, I could be wrong about this, and maybe the UK one is different, but like they are very much front loading coffee here. And is that the case with Pret a Manger in on the other side of the Atlantic?
Charlotte?
Well, Pret a Manger does mean ready to eat.
Right.
So it is. I have always thought of it as food first, but they do put an emphasis on the coffee as well.
Yes.
Specifically the fact that it's like a nice organic coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like I can't speak too much to this because I am a big tea drinker. I don't drink any coffee.
Well, yeah, I guess that's kind of where I'm coming at this from, is because like I think would the expectations be at the UK version is like, oh yeah, they got a bunch of different teas as well, or is that place like, hey, you can get tea anywhere, come to us for coffee.
Interesting. I hadn't really thought, because again, like most of my experience of Pret is actually in the US.
Okay.
So I think Charlotte can speak to this a bit more than I can, but am I remembering right, Charlotte, that like Pret has like a coffee pass or something? I think they have like an unlimited coffee pass that you can get now, where it's like, you know, you pay X amount per month, and then you can go in and get coffee whenever you want.
I was looking into this a little bit. My understanding is that this did exist and there was some controversy surrounding it.
Oh, we do love our chain restaurant controversies, don't we?
Oh, yes.
And they almost always about whether it's woke or not. Yeah.
The woke virus is taking over England.
Unfortunately, the woke mind virus.
Oh my God!
I think it's reached our shores.
I wish.
I think it's maybe.
I'd love to be able to go back and feel safe.
It maybe seems worse over there in terms of the kind of guy complaining about. Like it's just like you still have those same kind of fucking guy, like a Piers Morgan.
Yes.
Who's up there just like being like a complete like piece of shit and then complaining about everything.
Here's the problem is that just because it's a smaller country and I think has a less diverse media landscape in general, like our big newspapers, you know, are like the biggest newspapers are all explicitly right-wing and in a way that even the New York Times isn't. Like the Daily Mail is the biggest newspaper in the UK and it is fucking vile and constantly full of like, your mum on benefits is at a Mars bar, isn't that a disgrace? Or whatever. And, you know, I think it's definitely like you have a Piers Morgan or whatever. They are simply louder because of the lack of other voices, you know?
I told a story about part of a story about James Corden once, and then like a bunch of UK rags were like reaching out to me and like DMing me about for more info. Yeah. Well, no, I brought this up because this is the thing I talked to you about. You maybe don't remember, but someone from the Daily Mail was like wanted to talk to me, and I asked you like, do you know about this guy? Yes. And I think you told me don't talk to that wanker.
Wow.
I just say that so often. I guess I've forgotten.
Corden was nice to me. That was my experience with Corden. He was nice to me when I did the show. He was very nice to me.
Wow.
That is the truth. I know. It seems like a lot of people don't have that same experience.
Yeah.
But it was all that said, yes, it's the ghouls unfortunately have megaphones on both sides of the Atlantic, but we're not here just to talk about that.
We call them Mega Mobile.
Wait, really?
No. Sorry, I shouldn't have had the coffee. I'm sorry.
No, I liked
I'm really hyper.
Hey, buddy, listen up. I'm going to tell you about the only gift that any dad wants to get this Father's Day. Get him Goldbelly. Goldbelly ships the most iconic foods from the best restaurants across the country straight to his door for free. Let your old man kick back this Father's Day and chow down on award-winning barbecue from Texas, epic deep dish pizza from Chicago, or colossal pastrami sandwiches from New York, no matter where in the country he is.
Whether it's a dish from that one-of-a-kind restaurant or meals from world-class chefs like Jose Andres, Peter Luger, or Guy Fieri, Goldbelly has you covered. And you know what, Nick? A cat dad can order himself some too.
Wow, Mitch, you know, we've had Goldbelly. We've ordered Goldbelly. We're fans of Goldbelly.
We are.
We had the Ina Garten coconut cake, which was an absolute dream to eat.
I got some bagels. Did I share the bagels? Did we ever...
No, you kept those for yourself.
That's not...
But I think you enjoyed them.
That is not the truth. You told me not to bring them in. Wags, I had some Essa bagels.
That's right.
They were fantastic.
Yeah.
It was great.
Mitch, the quality of the food is so good. It's exactly what you would get out of the restaurant, and they've made the shipping so easy. They've completely figured out the logistics of this thing.
Wags, I had an everything bagel with cream cheese and lox on top of it. I was taking a bite of it. I was, hey, what am I, in New York here? That's not what it felt. I felt like I was transported to New York City.
And naturally, you know, I think maybe you're a little bit skeptical when you're going in of like, is this really going to emulate the experience? But
it really does.
This absolutely delivers.
They do a great job with it. They really do.
So if you are looking to make dad feel like an absolute legend this Father's Day, or just want to impress your friends and family with an epic meal next time you host,
go to goldbelly.com and get free shipping and 20% off your first order with promo code Doughboys. That's goldbelly.com, code Doughboys for free shipping and 20% off your first order. Hey, Wags?
What's that?
A stuffed dad is a happy dad. Am I right?
You're right, my man.
Yep.
But we're here to talk about Pret a Manger. Am I saying that correctly? Or approximately correctly?
So I just say Pret a Manger.
Pret a Manger.
So I'm making it sort of like as English sounding as I can.
Okay.
Because that's what people do say. A lot of people just say Pret.
Yeah.
In the
just
UK.
Say Pret, yeah.
We just hit the Pret.
I think when I came in, I said Pret a Manger when I came in.
That's what it looks like. It looks like Pret a Manger.
Pret a Manger.
Well, that's funny.
I thought it was Chris Pratt. I thought it was Chris Pratt owned Pret a Manger, but it's not. It's Pret.
It's a Christian Pratt.
I love you, Pratt.
Oh, I was going to ask whether you know that Prat is like a British term, a sort of slightly endearing term for, it's kind of a less aggressive way of saying twat, you know?
Wow.
Prat is a bit of a muppet, you know, a Burke.
Yeah.
Oh, man, Chris is going to hate this.
No, but you were saying it's a nice thing.
I wouldn't say
but it's a muppet.
It's not nice. It's
it's not nice. Okay.
It's like less aggressive than there isn't really a good translation for this in American English to me because it's not a jerk. You're not an asshole. You know, you're just a bit of a bellend.
Bellend, yeah. I'm familiar with bellend.
I'm going to DM him this info and see it sit unread for years, like a tomb, a digital tomb.
I think he probably knows about it. He has that really famous clip of him doing a perfect Essex accent.
Really?
Yeah. So I think he would probably know about it.
Pret a Manger.
Pret a Manger.
Pret a Manger.
Pret a Manger.
Never previously reviewed on the podcast. It has about 700 locations worldwide, including 40 in the U.S., the plurality of which are in NYC. It started in London, and it became such an institution in London, they tried to replicate that over in Manhattan. Just like last week's chain, Mitch, Panera, which we talked about with our friend Kimia, it is currently owned by JAB Holding Company.
Oh my God, Jab Holding.
Jab Holding, the same private equity firm, owns both firms.
Hey,
both
Jab
companies.
Holding. Get to work on a woke mind vaccine. Am I right, Wags? The jab.
The jab. Yeah, the jab.
This is referencing an old episode. That sucks.
It's 1 week old.
It's good.
Going through the list of all of their companies. So Bruegger's, Caribou Coffee, Einstein Brothers Bagels, Intelligentsia, Krispy Kreme, Panera, Pete's, Stumptown, and of course, a third of Keurig Dr. Pepper are all owned by JAB Holding.
Jab is a strange one. Jab has got some interesting.
It's very much trying to capture all sides of kind of the quick service coffee base. So you've got places like Stumptown, which is from Portland, and Intelligentsia, which is I think originally from Chicago, but is so well known for its LA outlets. And these are kind of like more upscale versions.
Yeah, it's like pseudo intellectuals.
Exactly,
it's like a Intelligentsia. I mean, Intelligentsia when I first moved to LA.
Yeah.
Is that too mean?
No, I was just laughing about how stupid it is that it is true that it's like, this is the smart guy coffee. It's called Intelligentsia.
Yeah.
Yes. And it did have Intelligentsia does have a decent coffee, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, but it's a little bit of a higher price point. Yeah, that's a place you'd see someone in there like working with a laptop, and it's like it's just a little bit of a different demographic than they're not all these chains are serving the same. The same customer base. But with specifically Pret a Manger, items are made fresh each morning and either disposed of or donated at the end of each day, but they are made in advance. So you're not going in there and you're not getting anything that they're, like you order a sandwich, even a hot sandwich, they're not making it for you. It's already been made and it's been sitting there since they opened.
Which we, as Americans,
we don't
like
to.
that.
Yeah.
We don't like it.
Yeah.
Well, we can be real. We don't like it.
We don't. I mean, I'm just like I certainly don't prefer it.
No.
Like for me, that makes me think of. Again, we're saying this before we recorded. Like it's like I'm getting my lunch from items that they have at Starbucks, or I'm getting my lunch from items that they have at 7-Eleven. Like it doesn't feel like a proper meal to me. Yeah, but Charlotte, Libby, like you both of your experience, or I'm sorry, Libby, most of your experiences you were saying were in the U.S. Charlotte, was this a place you frequented in the UK?
Undoubtedly, I am the person who has been to Pret a Manger the most.
Wow.
Out of all of us, I am. So there are so many in London specifically that it's a very easy default lunch place where I knew exactly what I wanted was going to be there. It's very familiar. I would go there all the time for breakfast and for lunch. I was a big. It was my like default lunch for a very long time was to go to Pret.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I used to go a fair amount when I had like an office job in DC. And there was one I think in McPherson Square, which is like K Street, where a lot of the lobbying shops are. Oh, we hate it. There are tons and tons of places in DC that serve this exact purpose. Like Panera Bread is one, and then I was thinking of this when we were having lunch, like all these other chains that I just never think about anymore because they really serve that specific market, like Au Bon Pain, and there was one called Cozy, which these are all just places that like you never have like really strong positive feelings. You just maybe have fewer negative feelings, and that's the one you go to. And Pret sort of filled a hole, I guess.
Au Bon Pain was the one for me growing up. Why? Because I don't know, like that. My mom, there was one in the Braintree South Shore Plaza.
Yeah,
there was a Au Bon Pain, and they'd have great fresh squeezed orange juice, and then there was like a chicken with mustardy thing, and like any like croissant sandwiches. And I had a high opinion of it, even though it was food that was ready to eat mostly.
Well, it's gone woke now.
Yeah,
now it's Obama Pawn.
Jesus Christ. Obama Pan.
Obama.
That's what it is now.
Yeah.
The thing I'm realizing about Pret is that, like, I can see that for an American, it's going to be like worse.
Yeah.
For when compared to, I just want to get you. I want you to make me something right now and then to eat it.
Yeah, sure.
But I think like the baseline lunch for a lot of people in UK is the prepackaged sandwich, specifically the one that comes with like the meal deal, where you're spending like £5 to go and get, your little prepackaged sandwich, your like, your crisps and a little drink. And those sandwiches, I feel like it's never guaranteed they're made the same day. They might be like a couple days old. So Pret is like a level up where that the thing you're going to eat is actually fresh that day, which is nice.
That's a good point. I mean, because even if you're going to get a grocery store lunch in the States, like a lot of times they just have a place that will make you a fresh sandwich.
Yeah.
And like, a grocery store sandwich from Ralph's, which is, the West Coast Kroger, it will sometimes be like, hey, that's like actually a pretty decent sandwich. That's a tier above what you might get made fresh at a Subway.
We haven't had him report on this, but we had Zach Cherry. He was going to be our British correspondent, which he's not.
What the fuck?
Come on, man.
He was working over there for a bit.
He was working.
Nice.
He was over there, and I got fascinated by Charlotte. You may see some of the Spuds trucks. They're very big on YouTube right now, where they're like the Spuds guys, where they're like, hey, what can I get you? Hey, give me what do you want? Hey, mate.
They're Italian.
And it's like they put like a bunch of like garlic butter and then cheese and then tuna. Usually is the big thing.
I was gonna say,
tuna.
One of my best friends growing up, after school every day, I'd go around to his house. He also lived in the village, and he would have a jacket potato with tuna and sweet corn.
That's what it is. Jacket potato.
Yeah.
A jacket potato.
Love a jacket potato.
It's usually tinfoil here in the U.S.
Is that what the jacket
for the potato?
Yeah, I think for us the jacket refers to its skin, right?
Its skin is a jacket.
I would say that the jacket is the skin.
Yeah.
But for me as well, you got to put baked beans on that.
Baked beans.
Oh, that's
beans were the. So there's a couple of viral, and Zach was there doing promotion
about this.
Doing promotion for Severance, and I was like, "Can you go and have do one of these, like go to one of these trucks?" And he's like, "It's gonna be a huge pain in the ass to me." And then I was like, "Will you please just do it?" And he did do it.
That's so nice.
And he was gonna correspond to us, but we haven't done it yet. But is that? I guess jacket potatoes are a thing, but these new food trucks, I guess you haven't. These have popped up. Like the viralness of them has popped up since you've been gone.
I feel out of the loop on this one, Charlotte. I don't know about you. The jacket potato trend.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about me and Libby is we both are from the UK, but I think you've been out of the UK for like 10 years, right? Maybe 11.
Yeah.
And I'm in Canada. I've been out of it for 6. So we're just not up on the trends of
Why
the UK.
are we doing a podcast, Charlotte? It's so stupid.
No, what do you mean to have you spiral out here?
This is the kind of questions that we should be prepared for, Libby. But here we are.
Well, hold on a second.
Here's
Immediately,
Mitch and I haven't eaten the food for this podcast in like 5 years. Just lie to these fucking idiots. They don't know. Fucking listeners are so fucking stupid.
We wear fat suits.
We're skinny guys.
Yeah.
We'll return to our real forms after the episode.
We got fat suits from the Clump warehouse.
Oh, I love that place on Sunset.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
But they were gonna do white clumps, like in the day. And then
White Clumps. Yeah, how come White Clumps never took off?
It just never got made. Because of woke. That was the whole issue.
Yeah.
It's woke ruined White Clumps.
Yeah.
You both did jump on board immediately with jacket potatoes, though. So this is a thing.
Yeah.
A jacket potato. It's basically what, like a baked potato, and then you put beans, garlic butter beans, tuna fish.
Yeah. Not all at once.
Tuna,
but
sometimes.
Because our loaded potato is like sour cream, chives, cheese. That's kind of it.
Yeah, sometimes you can throw chili on there. You can throw bacon on there. You can throw some broccoli if you want to get nuts.
But tuna, that's not.
Tuna's not usually what we'd fuck with, but it's I'd be open to it.
You just unlocked a memory for me, which is
let's hear it.
Going to Tesco and getting the we have a lot more like I think the Tesco ready meal is like a lot more central to the British, I don't know, diet than, an equivalent like supermarket prepared food would be here. But one of the ones I used to get a lot was the American loaded potato skins.
Wow.
Which was like cheese and bacon and chives, I think. And they're just like pre-prepared. You put them in the oven. And I remember the packaging specifically had like stars and stripes on it.
Wow.
They were rubbish. They were so bad.
Now it's nearly problematic now if you see something like that.
See my ass in there getting the stars and stripes potato.
You unlocked another memory for me.
Yeah.
What's your guys' shitty Times Square called again?
Leicester Square? Piccadilly Circus?
Piccadilly Circus.
Piccadilly, yeah.
I got McDonald's at Piccadilly Circus.
Wow.
And I remember the specific toy. You were unlocking a lot of my trip from when I was 8 years old.
Here.
8 years old to London. Wags has never been.
No, I've never crossed an ocean.
I've been to London when I went once for Hidden America and was there for like the show on CISO, and I was there for like 2 days. It was very quick. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's kind of far from LA, which sucks. But if you happen to be like, in Quincy for an extended period again, it's a pretty quick flight.
It's the same flight as going to LA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's a quick flight?
It's 6 hours. It takes me 6 hours to get out here.
As an American going to another country that isn't Mexico or Canada, then 6 hours is pretty good, Crossing the ocean. Yeah. It's not like going to Australia. That was 16 hours.
Yeah.
I'm going to get fucking castawayed. I'm going to do that.
It's not going to happen. You're going to get castaway.
I'm going to be castawayed.
You think that Lost is going to happen to you?
I might get losted.
In the Atlantic? Lost in the Atlantic is a horrible thought. Too cold, yeah.
I had a thing I thought of, and maybe I'll run it by y'all.
Wilson.
Worn absolutely ragged.
The ball is whiter than when we first lost it.
Wilson deflates himself.
When I said the ball is whiter, I meant like you.
Yeah, no, I guess that was calm. It was probably
I
get what you're saying. Yes,
from the calm. Yeah.
I had I thought of this and I was like, this feels like maybe a rude British joke that exists. But let me know if this is. Does anyone ever say Pret a minge?
Does anyone ever say Pret a minge?
Does anyone say Pret a minge?
I mean,
Pret a minge.
I
so
will now.
That means ready to vagina.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because a minge is a family, of course.
Yeah.
That sounds like a horny American. It kind of does sound like the American version of that.
What
ready to vagina.
What if it was like our version of Hooters? Just Pret a minge.
Pret a minge.
Got all the minge you want in.
Might as well make it pet a minge.
Pet a minge. Charlotte, that's something for the podcast, right? We can do Pet a minge. That's a segment.
Yeah, it feels like a segment.
Are we really that strapped for ideas at this point?
Episode 2.
Yeah.
A Hooters called
hold
Pet
off on Pet a minge.
It's horrifying.
Wait, Amelia, you piped in there to say Pet a minge. You have a history yourself with Pret a Manger. Is that correct?
So I had a layover in Paris.
Wow.
And I only had a few hours. And I was like, I got to make the most of my few hours here. The only thing I want to do is go to see the Eiffel Tower and get a really good croissant. So I
love that. There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It was great.
No,
I went and saw the Eiffel Tower and I walked into the first pastry shop I saw. It was a Pret a Manger, and I didn't realize it was a chain that was in the U.S.
Oh my god!
And a British chain specifically.
Yeah.
Like even though it has the French name,
Yes.
and they are in
British.
France, it is British. It must be really funny being in France and just seeing a store called Ready to Eat.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That does make it sound so much more like a convenience store or whatever. You know, like a gas station store, like AM, PM or whatever. Like Ready to Eat is on that level, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fancy at all.
No, because to the French, it's just regular.
Yeah,
exactly. That fancy all the time. Yeah.
Well, how was the croissant?
It was just a plain croissant. It was really mid, and I left thinking the pastries in Paris suck. And then I flew home, and like one of the first places I saw is like I was like walking around was a Pret a Manger, and I was like, wait, they're here too? What the hell?
Oh man.
I'd never been to Pret a Manger myself before. I did take a trip to a restaurant to see what it was like yesterday. I dined in at the Westwood location just south of UCLA campus. And I told you they were brewing up some coffee.
Yeah, that was really good.
UCLA Bruins.
That was really good.
Yeah.
You didn't get the ha-ha react on that one, I'm afraid.
You didn't have to do it because I figured you were enjoying.
You knew I was like my sides were splitting. Yeah.
Anyway, I asked an employee who looked like a college student how to pronounce the chain's name, and he went and got the manager.
Is that real?
Yeah, it's 100% real. Yeah, he was not confident. But I will say, I'm glad I went in person because
the poor college kid.
I don't know. I guess I'll get the manager.
And then even the manager was probably like, "This fucking idiot." That he's like, how does he not know the name? You got the kid in trouble. Basically.
Oh, they already are seeing a 40-year-old man walking into a college location taking photos of everything. They're already on guard.
Who doesn't look like a professor?
No, yeah. Anyway. But I'm glad I went in person because this did really hammer home what this concept is. Because again, it's not a thing you're used to in the States. All the food, including the hot food, is prepared in advance and just sitting on shelves. They have a hot shelf, which is just like, we were talking about earlier. All of their hot items, including their soup, but also their hot sandwiches are there. It just kind of felt like, to me, is like, this is like a nicer Starbucks / 7-Eleven. It's sort of like in between the two of those, kind of both at once. Basically a Starbucks with a more extensive menu. And we also got a to-go order to eat in the studio before the record, which we all shared. And I'll talk about both of those. But Charlotte, did you did you make a special trip to Pret a Manger, or did you make an order today?
And also sorry if you did.
And also sorry.
I did take a 25-minute Uber to downtown.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That did make me feel a little bit sick, unfortunately.
Oh, wow.
But we only have one Pret a Manger location here, I believe, in all of Canada. My understanding is that the Canadian Pret a Manger is owned by A&W. So there was like a period where you would go into some like select A&W stores and they would just have one of the Pret a Manger shelves just there that you could also pick from. Which is that really just doesn't fit well together. So this is, I think, the first like location they have in Canada that is just a Pret store and nothing else. And it was my first time going to it.
I was reading into this as well, and it was the thing I saw is that the coffee they had at A&W restaurants, like the Pret a Manger coffee, you can get there, but I didn't see if they're I'm sure that was a thing that happened in the past in terms of actually having a shelf there. But yeah, it's a. I don't know if this is a JAB holding company thing, or if this is just one of those weird things because A&W Canada is a separate company from the American one, so it has it plays by its own rules.
Charlotte, what are some of your favorite chains up there in Canada?
I mean, I really like A&W.
A&W rocks.
Canadian A&W specifically is really, really good. Yeah. Excellent fries. I get their poutine quite a lot as well, which makes me very happy. They do have a Beyond Burger. I was a vegetarian for quite a while up until quite recently. These days I have a lot of their chicken burgers as well. I should honestly go to it less, but there's...
sorry to make you laugh. Do you like that icy mug of root beer?
Oh, I don't actually. I'm not a root beer fan, unfortunately.
Wow.
But they do have the fridge with the glass door where you can see all of the big root beer glasses in there. But,
Charlotte, I just want to let you know that Amelia, when you said I'm not a big root beer fan, went.
Because I was looking at Casey, because
Casey's a huge root beer fan.
Look, more root beer for me. That's how I see it.
That's a great point, Casey.
Exactly.
Guess what, Casey? I don't like it either.
What
Even more root beer for me.
What's up with you Brits not liking root beer?
It's rubbish.
Oh my God!
It's not really a thing in the UK,
No,
right,
it's
Libby?
not. No.
No.
I think I knew as many people who drank root beer as drank dandelion and burdock. Do you remember people drinking dandelion and burdock,
What the fuck?
Charlotte?
I think I have vague memories of this.
Yeah.
Dandelion and burdock?
Dandelion and burdock?
It's like a soda. I
What the
remember
fuck is burdock, first of all?
I think it's like a dandelion. I don't know.
Dandelion and burdock?
It was like a soda. You could get it at Tesco, and it would be like this huge 2-liter bottle. It would be like 20p or something. And it was like they had their own brand cola and stuff, and they also had dandelion and burdock.
You know what I think about dandelion and burdock?
Uh-huh.
I think it's rubbish.
Oh no, he can do it too. Oh no.
Well, Wise, do you agree?
I think it is rubbish. It sounds like a... That's dandelion and burdock sounds like a royalty-free like Simon and Garfunkel. It like sounds like an old folk act.
It seems like a BBC show, like a mystery show.
Right.
Oh, and it ran for 28 seasons.
Wait, can I-
episodes, yeah.
Can I? This is a thing that we should talk about on What's All This then. But I worked on. Y'all have a Red Nose Day.
Oh yeah,
It's a
Red
big
Nose
British
Day.
thing. They brought Red Nose Day to America. Actually,
And we went crazy for it.
We loved it.
It is for a good cause.
It's
isn't
like
it?
a huge it's it's a Richard Curtis who's in charge of, like, I got to work directly with Richard Curtis, a lovely man, and he that was like the best part of the job, but the job itself like kind of stunk.
Writing sketches for like Russell Brand and
yeah, exactly. It was writing sketches mostly because like every British celebrity was like, yes, I'm in, and then all the American celebrities were like, what the fuck is this? No one had any context for what it was, but they brought it over here, and then also I got underpaid to the point where there was a lawsuit involving me and the other writers, and we ultimately settled. But like years later, like 8 years later, we finally got the money that we were owed for working on the special. It was a whole ordeal. But anyway,
you all got red noses too, right?
And we all got red noses. That was part of the compensation. But I brought that up for some reason that I've now forgotten because I went on too many tangents. So I guess we'll just move on.
Wait,
No,
what?
I can talk about. I mean, like, I actually also met Richard Curtis backstage at a gig, and he was the thing he was pushing for. He's like, I know you from your YouTube videos. Can you please do some stuff for Comic Relief? Like, he really like goes for that. So I did. I mean, unfortunately, I have another story about a video that didn't go very well. Because I wrote a song with the musical comedian Tim Minchin. You know,
yeah.
We wrote a song together, which was very fun. Recorded a video. The whole time he was like, "Are we really doing this in one take? Because I have a flight to get on." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, that's the way we're doing it." And then after it was all done, my friend who was filming it didn't turn on the microphone. And so we just had this like footage of us just play. I was playing my ukulele, he was singing along, and there was absolutely no audio.
Wow.
So I had to make a video for Comic Relief about the fact that I fucked that up, basically.
What a nightmare.
Man, when you don't record, when you're in the recording business, as we are, and you don't record something, you do want to jump into traffic. It's the worst.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, Emma's not here, man. Do we turn on the microphones? Oh fuck.
You guys didn't need me to record on my end. Like Comic Relief, Red Nose Day, it's all like this charity thing. It is like a good cause or whatever. Oh, I know what I was gonna say, which was just basically like, so this has been an institution in the UK for however long, 20 years or whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. And so they would be like, hey, we're gonna show you some bit from our UK show just to get a sense of like the kind of thing, what worked on the British version. And obviously it's a different audience, but we'll figure it out. And I always had this sort of like opinion of British comedy as like, oh, it's like a more highbrow, like more esteemed thing. And then every clip they'd show me, or they'd show us from, the British Red Nose Day would be like a guy with like the fakest looking wig and like these shitty fake teeth going like, and all the Brits in the room were going like, they're like losing their shit at this guy. I was like, what the fuck is this? You like this?
Take that. Eat shit, Britain.
This is the show?
Right,
put this on TV?
We'd be straight-faced drinking an ice-cold root beer, Wags, not laughing at that shit.
Yeah, okay. I'll say there's a couple schools of British comedy.
Yeah.
There is the kind that I think tends to get imported to America for, like media literate audiences.
Right.
Like obviously Monty Python, but then also like The Office.
Yeah, for sure.
And you've seen bits of I know a lot of Americans that love Peep Show, for example. Fucking great show. And then there's the other kind, which is a guy waggling his bum and going, "Oh dear! Oh, look at my bum!
Yeah.
Oh no!
That's pretty
my
good.
bum."
Sounds good. I like this guy.
I think of it as the like male British comedian who puts on a dress and goes, "Oh, I'm a lady," like that sort of that genre of British comedy, which is my personal favorite. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I think also the double entendre, like.
Oh, sure.
There are a lot of panel shows in the UK. Like, if you're a comedian, I feel like one of the nicest gigs is to get like regular spots on panel shows on TV or on the radio, where it's like QI or Taskmaster to an extent, or 8 out of 10 Cats or whatever.
It's like a kind of thing that hosted by like Jimmy Carr or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's not a goblin, right? Do we know?
He's a tax cheat.
He's a tax cheat. Okay.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
And I think kind of a twat.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if Charlotte. A lot of the time, if you mention someone famous, Charlotte's like, "Oh yeah, I met them and they said I was great." So
let me think. I don't think I've met Jimmy Carr.
Okay.
I always just think about his laugh, which is
awful. Yeah. I have hated him for a long time because he was an early like like mid 2000s. He was really into the shock humor. You know, like saying, I'm saying the stuff you're not supposed to say," kind of thing, which is so tedious now. But even then, it was. Anyway, what was I saying?
Pret a minge. I'm like, all right, dude.
No, that's the high class stuff I was talking about. The Office or whatever. But no, there's a lot of double entendres, and like making a joke about. Like, I wouldn't want to go down there, eh? You know what I mean? That kind of thing. You know?
Sure,
like
sure.
That is exactly the kind of like. That was
Wait, talking about what?
What can you explain that?
When you when you
no, I know I got, but that's what they were talking about. I don't want to go down.
Here's the thing: is my example was bad because I'm so unfunny. I couldn't even think of a bad double entendre.
That's not true.
No, not true. What you're making me like think of is like, there is a Monty Python bit that's just, and I think is making fun of that sort of thing. Say no more. Say no more.
Say no more.
No,
Should go with then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that absolutely is right. But that is like 70% of the humor. Is a double entendre about bums and willies.
Right.
It's the famous Brits have really taken a hit over here lately. There's Cording Out, brand crazy piece of shit brand. But there's
I mean, mention him earlier, Piers Morgan, real piece of shit, but he was a guy who was like very prominent in the U.S. For a bit. Like all these guys,
I'm saying there's room for a Brit celeb to come in and take over.
That's true.
Yeah, the spot is open. That's all I'm saying. There's a spot open.
That's what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to say, what's all this thing? Is it? Well,
I want to have a podcast that like 10,000 people listen to and no one else knows about. That's my goal.
Me too.
All right, we got to get into the food of Pret a Manger.
Not so fast.
Yeah.
Another thing we've done wrong.
Well, I do have one question. I do have a follow-up question, but also cheeky Nando's.
Cheeky Nando's. I really wanted us to do Nando's for this, but I don't think we have Nando's in LA.
There is
Here's
one in
the
LA
thing.
now.
This is what I'm going to say. Yeah. Wags has never had Nando's.
It's true.
There's a Nando's in D.C. He does not want to review it in D.C.
What?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I wish we could
thing.
go, but it doesn't feel associated with DC. We're going to go to DC live show. We're going to talk about Nando's.
Okay, how about this? Can you double dip and go to Nando's?
So
and
you
then
just have Nando's for lunch. You could. It's a healthy enough
spot.
spot.
We could conceivably go to Nando's and then later do a studio record where we talked about it.
Exactly.
That is an option. We could do that.
Yeah. I think Nando's is shit. What about you, Charlotte?
I really like Nando's.
Wow.
I do really like, but also I didn't eat chicken when I was like in my prime Nando's period, so I would have a lot of their halloumi wraps.
Oh yes,
which I did really
that's the
really
cheese,
like.
right?
Yes,
that's
the cheese.
Squeaky cheese.
And the peri peri chips as well. I think are really really solid.
Yeah.
You think Nando's is shit?
I've only been twice, once in the UK and then once actually on a date in DC where I matched with someone on Tinder and, obviously we were talking about me being British. No, it wasn't Biden, actually. It was not Joe Biden. I didn't match with him on Tinder. I matched with him on Bumble.
Well, you went to Nando's for a day. More like you matched on Tinder.
They don't... That's so
I think you're
annoying.
killing it today.
That's so annoying.
Yeah, Tinder. Were you actually on Tinder, the Tinder app?
Just matching with different chickens. Anyway, it was a good date. It was funny. He suggested it. It's like, do you want to get a cheeky Nando's? And I was like, oh, all right. He knows about cheeky Nando's. He does.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought
because you're British? Was that part of it?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's fun.
Nice bloke.
I thought Fanny was Minge.
Fanny is Minge.
Fanny is Minge.
Fanny is Minge.
Yeah.
Fanny is Minge.
Newsflash. Fanny is Minge.
Fanny
All right,
Minge.
all right, man. Fanny, I know. All right, Fanny is okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Do you think you guys can get a reel out of that?
Fanny is Minge.
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 Maybe our UK
You need me
numbers
to say
will
it as well, or-
Sky.
Please.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we wouldn't mind a clean Fanny is Minge.
Hey, everybody. Did you know Fanny is Minge?
All right, we got a lot
You're
of options
welcome.
there. Oh, okay, so I went to the one in Westwood. Here's what I got, and then we'll talk about what we got today. And Charlotte, I want to hear about your order. But I went in store. I got the cheddar and tomato sandwich. This is the kind of thing I feel like this is again less of a U.S. The idea that you'd have just like a cold cheese sandwich.
It is really funny.
Yes. Yeah.
Thinking about that as an American now, like those are just two toppings.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just basically like a turkey sandwich without the turkey. And I also
a tea sandwich.
A tea sandwich, yeah. I also got a Pret's tuna and cucumber baguette slim. Now, here's one thing I do like. You can get a slim of any sandwich from Pret, and that is just basically a half sandwich.
Yeah.
And getting a half of a baguette, it was like, again, like if you're eating light or you're on a budget, you can just get a half sandwich, and that's like a good value. But also, if you like want to have a little indulgence, you can get a little bonus half sandwich, and that's kind of what I did. I got one whole sandwich and one little baguette slim. I got a cup of the white chicken chili. I got a pink guava sunshine black tea, which is what they call their Arnold Palmer's sunshine tea. Is that known beyond? Is that like a UK convention beyond Pret? Calling sunshine tea, is that a thing they invented?
I've never heard of sunshine tea.
Okay.
I've heard of sun tea, but that's an American thing.
Yeah, it's an American thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I also got a chocolate brownie cookie and a hot oat latte as my dessert course.
Wow.
And everything was pretty solid. Today we got a whole bunch of stuff, Mitch. I mean, like should we just go down the menu? Okay, go for it.
Want me to say my order?
Yeah.
Okay. What I ordered today was a pink guava lemonade, which has the guava compote.
Oh.
In the bottom.
Yeah. That's basically my sunshine black tea was like 50% iced tea, 50% that pink guava.
Kind of liked it, but we'll get into
Yeah.
it. Small tomato and feta soup.
Mm-hmm.
Cinnamon Coogan, like Steve Coogan.
It's Queen Amman. It's a really hot.
Oh man, I'm
laughing.
fucked it up.
No. I'm laughing because they did actually put the pronunciation on the website, which I've never seen before. Like they like spelled it out phonetically on the website.
Queen Amman.
Queen Amman. It's spelled. Let's see if I can do this. Kouign, and then
got it.
a hyphen, and then AMMAN. And I actually learned from the website.
You just singular M
Fuck.
double N.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
AMANN. What did you just learn from the website?
I learned from the website that comes from the Breton words for cake and butter. I think.
Wow.
So
So it's not French in origin. It's from Breton.
Which that's France, isn't it?
Wait, that is French?
Yeah, that's Brittany. It's
I
part
thought
of
that
France.
was part of Britain.
You thought Brittany was part of Britain?
Oh, no, it's got fucking got the name in it.
I thought you guys were saying Britain weird. I thought you were saying Britain like Breton.
Oh, Brittany. Yeah, I'm from old Brittany, I am. Brittany's a northern... It is funny, actually, to think about it. Yes,
Yeah,
it is
what
a
are they doing
northern
over
region
there?
of France, which is kind of near Britain, and it's called Brittany, but it has nothing to do with Britain.
Wow.
So it's not like Steve Coogan. It's Queen
It's
Amman.
not like Steve Coogan, but I love Steve Coogan, though.
Steve Coogan, very funny.
One of the best.
Yes.
Buffalo chicken melt is and which felt like something that's not a regular Pret a Manger thing.
No.
And then I wanted to get something that was more regular Pret a Manger. and I got a Pret a Manger, and so I got a ham and cheese baguette slim. And the ham and cheese baguette was marked as one of their famous items.
Yeah.
And mixed thoughts on a lot of it.
Sure.
I'm gonna say just off the top, I don't think this place is necessarily bad, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of my thought from both experiences. Like, I don't know if I call this place bad. I don't know if I call this place shit. I don't know if I'd be like, I'm never going back here, which I have that reaction to some of these chains.
Yes.
I'd honestly
I don't know if I'm ever going back, to be fair.
I could absolutely see myself going back to a Pret contextually. Like, if it's a sort of thing like, hey, I need a quick lunch. Oh, there's a Pret.
I can literally see it, us on tour being like, we need to fucking eat. Let's
this is fine. I
eat
get an egg salad
Pret.
sandwich from here. This is fine. Libby, what did you end up getting?
So I got a, was it called like the rainbow vegetable sandwich?
Yes.
And I got a half sandwich of that. And that is like vegetables with hummus, like pickled cabbage and hummus and avocado or something. I also got the half tuna and cucumber baguette because I'm a big tuna and cucumber head. Actually, it reminded me of last year. I went on a hike in the Angeles National Forest at Sunset Peak, which is really gorgeous. And I went like really early in the morning, so there was nowhere for me to get food except 7-Eleven. So I stopped at 7-Eleven and got a tuna and cucumber sandwich from the thing, and I took that to the top for my, halfway point meal. It was a pretty hard hike. It's like 8 miles.
Yeah.
And it's just like unbelievably beautiful. I didn't see anyone the whole time.
Oh, you didn't see Eminem?
Eminem. Now, can you explain that to me?
8 Mile.
8 Mile. I didn't see Eminem.
8 Mile.
Which is actually kind of crazy if you think about it, that I didn't see him, because you would think I would see him on 8 Mile.
It was 8 Miles.
Yeah,
it was 8 Mile. Yeah.
That's his whole length.
Yeah,
that's his thing.
Were you a little confused at the 7-Eleven because it wasn't a 723?
It wasn't 723. I went in and said, "Oh, is this 723 or what? What's this then?" Anyway, I stopped at the top, and it's like so beautiful and like quiet, and it was like just sunrise. And I messaged my group chat with Jesse Farrar and Stefan Heck. Has Stefan been on the show? No,
we haven't had Stefan on Doughboys. No, he hasn't been.
Stefan's never been on Doughboys.
No. We get him
Sorry,
on
Stefan.
Well, he's never come into the US again. So because he hates Trump, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for the podcast.
I know. Anyway, with them and our Australian friends Tom and Demi, and I was saying, like, this is so lovely, and it reminds me of tuna and cucumber sandwiches I had when I was on a school trip in Wales. And Tom said, the English mind's ability to take a memory that would be otherwise life-ruiningly depressing and feel nostalgic about it is incredible. And I was like, thank you, Tom. Yes, I am having a nice time on top of the mountain. It's a nice memory, though.
If Stefan came to do a Doughboys episode and then ended up in El Salvador in the super prison,
that'd be a real bummer.
Just because of fucking... Man, whatever. We can't get into it. But the deportation episode of last week's night, very just a horrid.
Yeah, it's really bad.
If you want a horrid watch, give it a watch.
We all could use a horrid watch right about now.
Yeah.
You know what? I think you gotta watch it. You should
consume something harrowing.
You should. It's just truly insane. Just innocent people sent to El Salvador and put into prison. Anyways, Stefan is right to not come to the U.S.
I wish he would though.
Yes,
he actually was here, Mitch, but it was you were in Toronto.
Yeah,
at the time.
it was last year because we did the pizza thing.
Right,
we did the pizza thing.
A U.S.-Canada swap.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. It was a U.S.-Canada. It was like a prisoner exchange.
Yeah. You can get from me. You can get like a couple Canadians. They'll toss you like 2 or 3 Canadians.
I got the. I'll just run through my order real quick, and then Charlotte, I want to hear what you got on this most recent trip. The Bang Bang chicken wrap, the egg salad and arugula sandwich, which was a slim half sandwich on their multigrain bread. The Moroccan lentil soup, a chocolate croissant, guava coconut chia pot, which they didn't have, so instead that got swapped out for a different pot.
Ooh.
And Wags, it caused some problems today.
A little bit of an issue, and then also an iced churro oat latte.
The chia pot.
Oh,
wow.
I also got the
things. I bet you Amelia didn't even tell you because she's that.
What happened?
Nothing's fucked up. Don't worry about
it. No, what happened?
The order wouldn't go through because of your fucking chia pot.
The order didn't go through, but it didn't tell me what the item was. It said an item in your cart is unavailable, but it wouldn't tell me which one. And because of it, I couldn't place the order.
Wow.
So I was just like mixing and matching and trying to decide what was
What platform were you using?
Grubhub, and then I ended up switching to Seamless. And, you know, it was a more seamless experience.
Isn't it?
It might be.
Grubhub and Seamless?
Pret doesn't have its own app?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
Your fucking nasty little chia pot was the holdup.
This is the whole thing. I brought this up because their menu lists a whole bunch of items, and I went in store and I was like, half the shit they have on their menu is not in the store.
You gave us a warning about this.
And yes, and so this was one thing that we didn't get flagged. But you looked up the Grubhub for this particular location, and it did list that one, which is partly why I picked it. And instead, we ended up audibling for something else. But Charlotte, what did you get at the Toronto Pret?
I want to tell you first off what I didn't get. What I really wanted to get, but is not available. I hope you just list
every menu item you didn't get.
Selling. This is going to take a second. No, I wanted, because there are my favorite things that I used to get at Pret in the UK that I was really hoping would be available here in Canada, but which were not. I used to absolutely love their falafel and halloumi hot wrap from that hot shelf. I would eat a lot of those. That kind of honestly was enough to make a destination for me for lunch, because I love halloumi so much. The other thing I used to really go in for is they have the mango and the little slice of like lime, so you can like squeeze it and put the lime juice onto the mango. Which was so good. And they had one with pineapple in the Toronto location, and I was like, I don't feel like that's going to hit nearly as much.
Interesting.
So I couldn't do that. My favorite thing from Pret always though was the mozzarella and tomato croissant, which is like it was like a hot little pastry with like it's almost like a tiny little pizza but on like croissant pastry.
It was mozzarella and what, Charlotte? Sorry.
Mozzarella and tomato.
Oh.
It's tomato.
I used to
I got that.
Tomato.
Jesus.
So those are the things I wanted, and I couldn't get any of them, which was very sad for me. But in the end, I went for the chicken salad and avocado sandwich because I spoke to my brother who still lives in the UK. I was like, "What do you get?" I was like, "What's the staple? What's the classic?" So I got one of those. And then I also, just because it was me going back to Pret, I had to get a San Pellegrino. I had to get the sparkling water because I always got that whenever I went. And then I would also always get one of their little. Now here in Canada you get a brownie bite. I feel like it was more of like a brownie bar, but maybe I'm misremembering. But that was what I went for.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. No, I did see those at the register. And those are just like shelf stable that they had sitting there as like a little, ooh, I'll get one of those too. I did not get one of those, but I did get the chocolate brownie cookie, which I mentioned. Let me say this. Yeah.
What is the background on halloumi cheese? Is it big in the UK, halloumi cheese? Or because I know it's at Nando's, Cheeky Nando's, and here in the UK, you said you got this halloumi cheese wrap. It's not a thing before. Like when I was at Nando's, I was like, oh, halloumi cheese. It wasn't a thing that I knew much of.
I mean, it's Mediterranean, right, in origin. I think there's just like a little bit less of. There's plenty of Mediterranean food out here, but there's just like halloumi specifically is like
it's bigger in the UK.
Yeah, you'll see it a little bit less in the US.
Yeah. Halloumi has had a better PR campaign in the UK than in the US. Yeah.
A lot of halloumi on like veggie burgers in restaurants in the UK for sure. But it was also like a later in life discovery for me. Like I feel like as soon as I realized what a halloumi cheese was, then I was like specifically always seeking it out whenever I had like the option available to me.
Right.
Especially being vegetarian at the time because it has almost like a meaty like texture to it. In the way that it's cooked sometimes, but then it's cheese, so that's delicious. So yeah, I eat a lot of that.
Is that the same with cucumber and tuna? Is that a big combo? I mean, I guess it is, but would you say would you say cucumber and tuna is I would say less of a big thing.
See, less of a thing, but I do like it when I encounter it. Just some more like halloumi, because I wonder if something has to do with the American dairy industry, because it's just not produced here. There's so much domestic dairy that I wonder if that could be part of it. You know, that's part of what's more widely available, or what they're is more scalable, like, and economically. But I think it also might just be that it's we're maybe just not used to it because it's. I guess Cyprus is the Cyprus government actually owns the trademark for halloumi in the U.S.
Wow.
So I guess they have some government control over it. Anyway,
getting tariffed.
That might be it, man.
200% tariff in Cyprus.
I really overall was like more impressed than I expected with my dine-in lunch, just because I go in there, I'm like, I don't know what this place is. I see everything that's just sitting in cases, prepackaged, and I'm like, all right. Now my expectations are like, oh, okay, maybe kind of mid. Then they start to plummet a bit because I'm like, okay, so I've just got a sandwich that was made this morning that's just been sitting in a case all day. And then I start eating and I was like, this sumbitch ain't bad. I don't mind it. This cheddar and tomato sandwich, not bad. It's getting the job done. And I'm having this tuna and cucumber baguette slim in particular. I thought was like, the texture from the cukes was quite nice. The tuna was a higher quality than I expected. The white chicken chili, again, just warm there. But I was like, this is like something I would get from Soup Plantation. This is like a decent soup. It's like a Whole Foods like level soup. This is totally serviceable. I'm having all this, and I'm just like, my socks aren't being knocked off. They're staying firmly on my feet, but I'm still enjoying my meal. And I'm still like, this is a satisfactory lunch. This is if I was like one of these students here who are all like, and I was just like, whatever, with my, reading Tolstoy or whatever the fuck, and this was my lunch, I'd be like, hey, this is fine.
That's
this
your
is getting
idea
the job
of a
done.
student?
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, this nerd's reading Tolstoy. Let's get him.
I'd be like, this is fine. And the chocolate brownie cookie in particular, I was like, I was not as impressed by the desserts today, but that dessert, I was like, man, this is like...
Did the socks shoot off?
No, the socks were still on there. But I was like...
Sorry, Mitch.
Yeah, damn.
No feet today.
Me and Quentin. I hate that people say, who cares? He likes feet. It's nice.
Yeah, let the man look at some feet.
Let him jack off to a foot or two, for Christ's sakes.
I'm eating that cookie, and I imagine as someone else spent some time at UCLA, you went to Diddy Reese at a certain point, the cookie shop.
Blew my fucking mind, I can tell you.
There, my socks are getting knocked off.
Yeah.
I went to a couple Diddy Reese parties.
Diddy Reese is like a cookie shop. And it's
Brought
like
baby oil.
The cookies are legit very, very good. It's in Westwood Village. It's a stone's throw from this place. It's not that good, but it is like better than I expected. It tastes like it could be from a cookie shop.
Well, and it was cheap is the other thing about Diddy Reese.
Diddy Reese is very cheap.
You go there and it was like, when I was there, I think it was like $1.50, and you get like a baseball-sized ice cream sandwich.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Nice try, Diddy Reese.
And I thought the tea was too sweet for me. The sweet tea was too sweet, but the latte was totally serviceable.
Libby just outright mad at me.
I'm not mad.
I knew of Pret a Manger. I didn't know how to say it. Again, I thought it was Pret a Manger. But I am not. We talked about this in the United States. I wonder what you'll think of this, Charlotte. It's just that sort of thing of like the idea of lunch. I think in the UK, or people are just like, oh, this is easy. I'm going to eat this, and I'm on the go, and I'm checking off that I'm eating lunch, and
yes.
I just don't think Americans function in that way. I think it's like we need something more. We need something satisfying. Or not. It has to be a thing. I guess.
You want it to be a treat. You want it to be like, this is my midday respite. And versus in the UK, you're just like, you have like your bite of your fucking scone or whatever the fuck, and you're like, oh, that's sorted. Let me go back to my job. You know what I mean? It's just
and
like,
we would say sorted.
You would say sorted. Yeah.
Sorted.
Back to cranking the wheel at the Big Ben. You know.
Yeah.
Whatever
Right.
the fuck you're doing.
But is it better to have your baseline of lunch just be like, it's fine, it's going to fill the hole, and then I can go back, so that when you do go to the cheeky Nando's, you do like this lunch is going to be like nicer, I'm going to have a better time, it's more of a treat, as opposed to I kind of expect my lunch to always be like good.
Yes.
That's my argument for things. That's my argument for things in the UK being worse generally.
I think it's
good all of a sudden.
I think that is a good thing. By the way, I'm going to fill the hole. Not a thing I say very often. I think that is a better base. That's what it should be. I think this is a thing in the States that has changed with, the hustle culture has increased over the last 30 years, 40 years. You know what I mean? Where it's like, like you were saying, that respite of I'm doing my shitty job, and I'm gonna have a fucking Jersey Mike's big old sub. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
But also, of course, we do the shoveling of the salad, like you've talked about before.
Yeah, of course. But then there's also like, hey, I'm gonna have Carl's Jr. You know, I'm gonna have like a big sloppy burger. I'm gonna have a Panda Express. I mean, there's even the salad. Panda Express is great.
We both love. We should go to Panda Inn, the original Panda Express.
To. Yeah.
But even the salad is like, you go to Sweetgreen and it's like, I'm gonna get this thing on it and this thing, and they're making it in front of me, and I get my version of slop, no matter what.
The idea of the thing out of the case feels like an experience at. This is like I'm traveling. This is what's at the airport. This is what's at this train station. I'm gonna grab and go this, and it's gonna be this thing that was. You know, there's the illusion of freshness when you're watching someone make it for you. And also the customization, I feel like, is a very American thing. The idea of like, I can say exactly what I want to substitute
have it your
or
way.
omit. Exactly, right, yeah.
Yeah, I think you could do a lot of, you could like extrapolate a lot of cultural analysis from this thing. You know, you could go on and on about like the American treat mindset and like, you know, consumer culture in general. Like it's almost an extension of that kind of customer is always right thing, you know, like you should be able to have what, you know, if you are a consumer with buying power, you should be able to have whatever you want, and it should taste great, and it should have all the salt and sugar and fat that your brain craves and all that stuff. Whereas in Britain, I feel like it's not even that we're healthier, it's just that we don't believe we deserve good things.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, Charlotte, do you agree with that cultural analysis?
No, I do agree with it. And it was very interesting for me to go back as someone who's lived in North America for as long as I have, who hasn't had a prepackaged sandwich in such a long time, to go back to it and be like, I feel like I have such a fondness for it with Pret specifically, and also just with the concept of the meal deal. I feel like it's just such a nice idea to be able to get sort of like a good value to go lunch. And I think the main takeaway for me, and I'm not sure if it's just this specific Pret, but I was like, it's not actually very nice to be eating a cold sandwich that's like fridge cold.
Yeah.
And I don't know if in like most Prets, if they have the fridges calibrated like properly to the point where it's like not really, really cold. But when I ate it, I was like, my sandwich is too cold and this is not very nice.
Icy tuna. Yeah.
It kind of broke my heart a little bit, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think also it is an expectations thing. I think you are absolutely right, Charlotte, to compare it to the meal deal, because the Tesco meal deal, which we talked about on our first episode with Jesse, is like the baseline. You know, I feel like that is probably like, I don't know if it's the number one thing eaten for lunch in the UK, but like it's very, very common and popular. People have opinions about what the best meal deal is or whatever. And it's just like one of these cold fridge sandwiches usually, or a pasta or something, and a side like, you know, crisps or a brownie or something, and then a drink. And it's, you know, it's £4 or something. And so that baseline of like, you know, cold fridge sandwich from Tesco or whatever, Pret specifically, it doesn't do a meal deal, but it's selling the same type of food. So it is like, by comparison, it's like, oh, well, it's posher than the meal deal. Whereas here, it's competing with like going to a deli and getting like a big hot pastrami sandwich or something, which is like the best thing on the earth, you know?
Yeah. I'm looking at the Tesco meal deals right now, and it's things like you get a Tesco prawn mayonnaise sandwich.
I mean, you didn't have to mention the prawn mayonnaise, you know?
My mouth is watering. I can't wait to go back to the UK and eat one of those.
Yes.
So you get like one of those and like a Pepsi Max no sugar cola, and like that's your lunch, or do you get another item too?
Charlotte's hearing this and she's thinking, "Oh, I can do this, and I can have someone yell a slur at me. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go."
Spicy chicken.
You have to get a snack as well.
You get a snack too. Okay.
You have to get a snack.
So I build one of these. I say the 360 pounds.
Yeah.
£3, 60 pounds.
That's the club card price.
Oh, got it.
So if you have the club card, it's $3.60.
What do you call the 60 cents?
60p.
P.
Yeah,
£3, 60p. I get a strawberries and cream sugar-free Pepsi. A Tesco chicken and bacon Caesar salad, and where do I get I don't know how to build this fucking thing.
Yeah, it's not a good website. We had this problem with Jesse as well. It's not super easy to navigate because obviously everyone who goes to Tesco already knows what their build is. You know, you can
you know, you have your loadout, like you've game planned that in advance.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going in there, I'm getting that you know, God, this all looks really bad, honestly. I'm looking at this.
But also, part of the decision comes down to you look at the fridge and you see what actually looks good. Because it's not just like the idea of a sandwich. It's just like, is this specific sandwich that's in the fridge right now going to be nice enough for me to eat in this moment?
I mean, I remember going to a bagel place in Banbury that I think was called like Bagel Bite or something. And it was such a novelty to me that they would make the bagel sandwich like to order with what you wanted. And they would say, what kind of bagel do you want? What filling do you want? And I would watch them make it. I was like, I've not seen this before. You can do that. You can have food made to order, you know, which I'm sure there are going to be British people listening to this who are like, oh, just bloody nonsense. I get that all the time and I've had that all my life or whatever. But for me, at least, not growing up in...
I like to think we have angry Brits like that listening to the show. I hope we do.
I have, yes, already so many imagined angry Brits haunting my brain.
Right, because I didn't even think about that. You would have... To them, it's like, oh, you're my advocate. You're the standard bearer for British culture.
Yeah, I would say I'm the standard bearer for British culture. Yeah, that's true.
You're telling what's going on over there to these couple of dipshit Americans. You better be representing us properly.
Yes, the podcast certainly reflects, I think, for both of us, our mixed feelings about the UK, which is that we think it's bad and often very funny to make fun of, but also a lot of the time when Americans make fun of it, we're like, all right, steady on.
Right.
Steady on, mate.
Yeah.
Hello. Sorry.
Hang on. No, not you. You're fine.
Sorry.
So we have these like little things that we feel maybe more defensive about, or things that, you know what, actually that's not, you know, Doctor Who, actually that's pretty good, or, you know, like the BBC, yeah, all right, you know,
yeah,
like something that we might manage to feel not ashamed of.
Well, there's also the element, and I'm sure this happens in, you know, people's. This definitely happens when people are mocking America at large. Is like you've taken the wrong angle here, or like you don't have something. You don't your opinion isn't quite correctly formed because like there's some key element that you're omitting. You know, maybe just like not thinking of America as a monolith, as opposed to like there's all these different regions with their own different affiliations and preferences, and sure it's the same thing over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you know, all of my favorite people in the world are American. They're great. You know, I've met all my.
Okay, sure. All right. Interesting finding this out right now.
That's fun.
All right. Someone is not on the Christmas card list anymore.
Oh, that's not what I meant. I'm really sorry.
Do you guys call Santa Papa Noel? What do you call him?
Papa Noel.
Yeah, what's up with Papa Noel?
Yeah, what's the deal with Papa Noel?
We come back for the Papa Noel episode.
Is he like Father Christmas? What the fuck is
I think
his
Father
deal?
Christmas, right?
It's Father Christmas.
Father Christmas, yes.
Father Christmas? This is
so
insane.
You've managed to say something that makes Father Christmas sound even more ridiculous than it is.
Father Christmas?
Papa Noel.
Santa Claus is Father Christmas?
Yeah, he's Father Christmas.
Get the fuck out of here with Father Christmas. I'm sorry. I look, I'm fine with Fanny and Minge and all that shit, but Father Christmas?
Yeah.
Wags, help me out here. Tim Allen and the Father Christmas Claus?
I've never quite wrapped my head around Father Christmas, partly because I think just like the fantastical idea of Santa Claus seems more fun to me, like from a world building standpoint.
If Santa
it's the same guy.
Yeah, but it's to call him Santa Claus. A little bit more fun.
Yeah, you call him Santa Claus.
Yes, because that's the name you knew when you were a kid. But for me, I was so excited to go to bed so Father Christmas could come.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and we would leave out a mince pie for...
This is insane. Well, hold on a second. Yeah. Mince pie is a better thing to leave out.
Mince pie is fucking good as hell.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I love the mince pie so much.
Mince pie is better than cookie.
What's in a mince pie?
It's like dried fruit. It's like very
that sucks. Never mind.
Okay.
Milk and cookies is fun, or biscuits and white water.
Charlotte, I don't know if you...
Were you just guessing that's what Brits call it?
We call
white
it
water?
white water.
Right, yeah.
We don't know what milk is.
I'm white water intolerant.
I'm so fucking mad.
Yeah, fucking pissed off.
Charlotte, I don't know if you did this, but in our house, it was a mince pie for Father Christmas and some brandy as well.
Wow, that's fun.
And a carrot for Rudolph.
Oh, cute.
I was going to mention the carrot for Rudolph specifically.
Yeah.
I don't think we did.
Maybe
brandy.
my dad was just an alcoholic. Your kids didn't leave the fucking brandy for Father Christmas.
No, we did. Yeah, the booze not as much for Santa, but I did leave out the carrot. We'd leave out the carrots and sometimes celery or something for the reindeer. We do a couple.
Oh, that's nice.
Bang Bang chicken wrap sucked. It was real bad.
Yeah,
it was supposed to be. I'm a bit of a heat seeker. This one is supposed to be a little bit of a. I think the Bang Bang is supposed to be a little bit of spice, and I just wasn't getting it. And then just all of the components on it: it's grilled chicken and miso sesame, crispy onions, gochujang aioli, and then pickled cabbage and carrots, cilantro, cucumbers, carrots, red onions, a whole bunch. I didn't need to read all that shit, but it's a 7-grain wrap. It was a bit of a dry guy and just didn't have much flavor. The egg salad and arugula sandwich, which is what I got today as my proper sandwich. I just got the slim, but that was quite nice. And that's the sort of thing where I'm just like, I could get this egg salad sandwich if I just had to eat lunch in a hurry. Like this would totally get the job done. This is completely serviceable. Same thing with the lentil soup. I was like, this is completely fine. This is a replacement level lentil soup. No problem with it at all. The sweet treat, the chocolate croissant, I thought was a little too much chocolate, like a little unbalanced, and just like a pretty gummy as far as croissants go. Like it definitely did not feel as fresh baked as I would like.
Yeah, I didn't think it was good. I consider myself a bit of a chocolate croissant head.
Yeah,
and it was not very good. And it was also not the normal form factor you expect for a chocolate croissant or a pain au chocolat.
No.
It wasn't that shape where it's like pillow shaped. It was croissant shaped with some bits of chocolate on top and then like a chocolate filling. Didn't like it.
It was a little bit too long and girthy. It was kind of like Shai Halud. It did not look like a proper.
I was thinking the
croissant.
same thing.
Yeah.
It was Shai Halud.
It was very Shai Halud.
Like Shai Halud.
Yeah, I think it was Shai Halud.
Yeah.
The Queen Amman.
Queen Amman was so good.
That was good. That was yummy. That was
buttery as hell.
Good. Yeah, that was the best treat.
I thought the muffin was the blueberry muffin that we got, Amelia, that you got for us was pretty good. I thought all the pastries, the chocolate croissant was the one. I was saying that that Coffee Bean has a better chocolate croissant.
Oh yeah,
what the fuck? What, didn't we get one? Oh, we got a cookie.
Yes, it was the chocolate and pecan cookie, and that was good. It was. I thought it was a little stale around the edges. Again, I'm a little bit of a snob when it comes to baked goods.
Yeah. Well, you're a proper baker.
That's right. I'm a proper baker. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. And
what's your favorite thing to bake?
Oh, favorite thing to bake? Shit, fuck. Pie crust.
Wow.
I think my pie crust is really good.
Charlotte, are you a baker at all?
No, I'm not. I would like to get more into it. I did make myself some scones recently.
Oh, that's fun.
Wow. Or scones. And they were proper good. I also made my own clotted cream to go along with them with some strawberry jam.
Libby made some clotted cream.
It was so good. So good. But it's something I don't do. Honestly, I will do it on a Twitch stream to make it as content.
Yeah.
Because it does feel like, unfortunately, a waste of my time to bake goods for myself. That's a thing I need to figure out in my own head because it's obviously I can make myself delicious treats whenever I want.
Yeah.
But yeah, not too much of a baker.
Yeah.
Libby also made some hot cross buns recently that looks really, really good.
Yeah.
I love a hot cross bun. It's very good. Yeah, no, the cookie I thought, again, it's like once you realize actually how easy it is to make, like especially chocolate chip cookies, which I think is maybe a perfect dessert.
Yeah.
Once you realize how easy it is to make those at home and put the dough in the freezer and you start having fresh hot chocolate chip cookies regularly, every other cookie starts to taste like shit. And like anything that's been sitting out like that. You know, it was just a little stale. But I thought that the salt level was really good. I'm very big on salty desserts.
That's a good observation. And I think that's your trained palate speaking because, you're absolutely right. Did y'all's grandmas bake cookies? Because that was the sort of thing I was just like, oh yeah, grandmas love baking cookies. You know, my grandma did love to bake cookies.
Now, Charlotte, just to translate that, what he was saying was, did your nans make biscuits?
Yeah, did your nans make biscuits?
Oh, yes. I was so confused, completely.
No,
actually, not really all that much. No,
my nan hated cooking in a feminist way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this? I wonder if this is a, and that might be specific to your nan, but I also wonder if is this an American thing? The cookie bacon grandma, is that specifically like an American trope?
For me, it was. My grandma did like to. Well, at least
my grandma baked the fuck
loved
out of some cookies.
making cookies.
Yeah.
Cookie bacon grandma.
I know. I wanted to say the same thing. Cookie bacon grandma.
It makes me wish I had one. Yeah.
Now,
Amelia, Casey, were your grandma's baking cookies?
No.
Not really.
No,
my mom would make Christmas cookies.
Okay, your mom would make Christmas cookies. Okay, and Christmas is a cookie holiday.
Is Christmas a cookie holiday?
Okay.
I think it is.
Not in the UK.
One of the worst bits you've ever done. Of course it's a fucking it's the only cookie holiday. What the fuck are you talking about?
You give a mince pie or whatever the fuck you give Father Christmas.
Yeah, no.
You don't even leave biscuits out for the damn man.
It's not really a cookie holiday in the UK, actually. It's more of a mince pie holiday.
Wow.
Another data point.
Yeah.
Amelia?
I agree with Casey. Just made cookies for Christmas for Noel.
So maybe there's a generational thing.
For us, it was more
It's an
cake.
Italian thing.
Yeah.
Like,
could be an Italian thing too.
Italians love their Christmas cookies and other occasion
cookies. My mom would
cookies.
make Italian cookies.
Like wedding cookies and stuff.
Yeah, the only issue with those cookies is that they taste like
suck.
shit.
They're so bad. Italian cookies are so fucking bad.
Italians make some of the best food in the world, but their cookies just taste like shit. What the fuck is the issue? What is the issue here?
We disagree over here.
Rainbow cookies.
Oh, they taste like shit.
Hey, let me swap out these chocolate chips for some meatballs. What the fuck are you talking about?
They're like bitter. They're fucking...
Yeah.
It's just nothing. They're just like, I mean, like a lot of European cookies, I feel like they have been eclipsed, by American sweet technology. So like, European cookies is like, oh, and this one tastes of almond, and this one kind of tastes like lemons and almond, and this one tastes like orange and almond. Whereas in America, you've got we have scientifically determined the ratio of salt to sugar that is going to make you go insane. So
yeah, for sure.
Charlotte, you mentioned the lime juice on mango, and that's the fruit cart. Victor, the fruit cart guy.
Yeah.
Always, even if I don't get tahini or chamoy, I'll get the lime juice.
Yeah,
on there.
I agree that pineapple needs it less than mango.
It's starting to get the acid.
Is so acidic already. But it is fucking good. That is one of the best LA things, and I really loved taking Jesse Farrar when he came to LA, taking him to the fruit cart guy,
the fruit cart,
getting that experience because it's really lovely.
I make a pretty good apple cranberry pie. Wags has had it before.
Ooh.
Right, Wags?
I have. That was a lovely pie.
Yeah. I gotta make you one at some point.
We gotta talk more food. What Charlotte? What was your assessment of what you got?
So, like I said before, too cold, and that did make me unhappy. I did think the sandwich, despite that, was pretty good. The bread was a little bit thin for me, which is a bit disappointing. The avocado in there, though, I feel like when you're getting a prepackaged sandwich, it's always a fear of, is this avocado going to be ripe enough, or is it going to be a little bit tough? It was perfectly ripe. It was very, very nice. They sprinkled some little cranberries in there, some little dried cranberries in that sandwich as well, which was a really lovely surprise as I was eating it. I really felt like it elevated it. But I feel like overall, with the sandwich specifically, the fact that it was just too cold just kind of overwhelmed everything else and just made me a bit sad. I do have to give a big shout out to the brownie bite though. That thing was bloody delicious.
Yes,
it was so fudgy. I don't know. I don't know why I felt like I needed to do this, but I was like, it's a brownie bite. I have to count the number of bites. And that's it was not very big. It's maybe an inch and a half or something. You could eat it in one, but because it was so rich and decadent, it took me 8 bites to eat that thing. I was savoring it.
Yeah.
It was so good. And also I like a little sweet treat like that.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need a full size thing. Just a little rich treat. It's great.
No, that sounds like a meal for M&M.
8 bites.
8 biter.
One per mile. 8 bites. He has one on each mile. That's amazing. Well done, Mitch.
Yeah, well done.
Well done.
I thought it was pretty damn good.
We all thought it was good.
We all thought it was good.
We all liked it. We're expressing our appreciation for it.
We're all saying it's good.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the dais. Casey not paying attention. Emma kind of hiding behind her laptop.
Emma?
That's not Emma, by the way. It's a different lady.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
Amelia.
Even I knew that.
What I like also is that Emma is going to hear this when she's editing. So,
hi, Amelia. I don't swap the names of people who have worked with us for 7 years. 7 years with Emma? And I don't know, a couple years for you. I don't know.
3.
It's fine. Yesterday on my stream, I have a thing where people can pay for a picture of Digby to show up. And there was one where it was a picture of Digby on my lap and then our friend Demi on the TV behind her. And I said, oh, look, it's Demi and Libby.
Oh,
your own name.
That's my own
it's just our
fucking
brains.
name.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As you get older and the coronavirus, I think we're just turning to mush.
Microplastics.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can't remember what the figure was, but like the number of like milligrams of microplastics that are in our brains.
It's probably grams.
It's like insane.
Honestly.
Yeah. It's just like.
Got about a kilo in there, yeah.
It's too much.
I'm on a text chain with you, and we share a lot of just dark news. Just that thing about how this is the worst age for like art. There's like been no good art, and that like there was like a song from like 35 years ago that got big because it was just played on Stranger Things, which makes me we need to get Doughboys played on Stranger Things.
But there's
You think we can pull that off?
I think if we get bought by private equity, because that was a big part of that article, was just talking about how the same thing, like a company like JAB Holding Company exists and just hoovers up, it becomes this overlord of all these subsidiary companies that are all operating in similar spheres, so it can just completely dominate the marketplace, but in a way that's opaque to the consumer. The same thing happens with hedge funds and private equity and acquiring intellectual property now. And now you see like this private equity firm, this hedge fund bought all Whitney Houston's like entire catalog. And so now all of a sudden you're hearing all these Whitney Houston songs. I'm using Whitney Houston as a random example.
Yeah.
You're using Whitney Houston songs in commercials, and it's just like, because a private equity firm is aggressively licensing it out now to try and make money off of their investment.
I went off on this the other night, remember?
It's grim stuff.
When I was talking about, I don't want to get into it now.
But there should be, like, that's a whole another conversation where IP, law should be reformed, where more of this stuff is going to the public domain, so it's not people making money off of, a bunch of dead artist creations indefinitely.
You want me to get angry for a second?
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going to get angry for a second. I looked at, speaking of Eminem, there was a video of Dr. Dre and Eminem, and they were talking about Napster, and they were like, oh, we don't like Fred Durst, because I was looking at Fred Durst videos. We don't like Fred Durst because like he's like pro Napster and we don't like Napster. And then all the comments are like, this aged like milk, Eminem and Dr. Dre, and all you little fuckers out there, you're on big tech side instead of the fucking artist side. You're gonna suck big tech's dick, you fucking dorks. That's the better thing. Now you're a slave to fucking Apple and you have to pay for Apple Plus subscriptions your entire fucking life instead of giving the money to fucking artists, you fucking dorks.
Well, also, it's just like having to be in like the Spotify ecosystem, whatever. It's like you either have to pay out of pocket or you're paying with your time. You have to listen to ads constantly, or you just like everything is just saturated with ads. There are things you can pay for now that are covered with ads. There's no way to escape them.
Music is. I mean, look, music can be played for free, but it's also it's an artistry, and they're giving you had an issue buying a $12 CD. Who gives a shit? You have to pay that money to Spotify or Apple Plus every year.
Yes,
little fucking dweebs.
Yes,
and it's just all tech bullshit that it's all been assimilated into fucking tech bullshit.
Thinking about how I could have bought, $10, $12 albums with my, yearly Spotify charge or whatever. How many albums do I actually listen to? It's probably less than 12.
Oh, right. Sure, yes. Yeah.
I'm just listening to like, Kurt Weill and MJ Lenderman over and over again. That's it. Like I don't need the the illusion of choice.
Yeah.
Well, it's also that thing of like the music industry has been ruined. Like it's like that sort of thing of like music isn't made in the same way anymore. Like they don't studios aren't rented in the same way. That sound is gone forever.
Yeah.
Because everything has been cheapened because it doesn't exist in the same way anymore. So, anyways,
music is still pretty good right now, though. There's a lot of music.
There's a lot. I'm not saying that there's always going to be good stuff.
But you're right that the distribution channels have gotten so fucking onerous, and a lot of that just has to do with big tech.
And also, it is that sort of thing. If you go back to like the mid 90s and you look at a year and see how many different music acts that have like in it, and it is like someone could just have a hit. Have a hit song and then they'd be okay to survive and make more music.
Yeah.
And that just isn't, it's not the same unless it's like a gigantic mega hit.
But it's like fucking everything. That's like an actor used to be able to make their year by being in a national commercial, and now those opportunities don't exist anymore.
Weird that there's a weird correlation where the music is like, if you, like, I'm just saying in the past, in a given year, there was a variety of music that was better. The quality and the quantity were higher.
I don't know how much
I'm not saying that there's quality that is very high.
Yeah.
The quantity was also very high. There were a lot of different acts that had a lot of great hits.
Well, but what you're also talking about is like kind of the death of the monoculture and like how this is just, because fewer things rise to the level where everyone perceives of them, so it just feels like there's less out there. There's actually more.
Try to turn my words on me. I'm not saying that there's not good music now.
I'm not trying to turn your words on you.
People all know that culture is not we're flopping about here. That's what I'm saying. And it is a lot of the issues is this big tech bullshit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
I didn't even listen to music.
Fucking, this guy's over here sucking Big Tech's dick, this motherfucker across from me.
What? I'm not sucking Big Tech's dick. Oh, I love this iPad.
Fuck, you got fucking tech dick installed on the iPad?
I'll say, like, paying for Apple dick is, like, worth it.
Yeah, you get like 3 sucks a month.
It's pretty good. It's
yeah,
pretty good.
And I really hate when you have to watch an ad just so you can suck your iPad off.
Come on.
You gotta go ad free on this.
Yeah,
insane.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. What other? Did we get all the sweet treats? Because we should talk drinks a little bit. I mentioned the Sunshine Black Tea, too sweet for me. Hot oat latte, fine. This iced churro oat latte that I've been sucking on for the duration of this episode.
Hold on, I do want to push back on you.
Yeah.
Name 3 songs from last year you like.
Oh, I have no. But this is the thing. I don't consume any modern music. I don't consume any modern music.
I'm just saying. That's my point. That's all.
I certainly liked the score for Metaphor Refantasio. That was a great video game soundtrack.
I asked, actually.
So I mean, like, there's some good music that's being made out there. Yeah. But yeah, I don't like listen to modern music, so because I don't know, I couldn't name a song that came out within the past 20 years. It's like a pop song. Okay. I don't pay attention to any of that shit.
Yeah, Interesting correlation there. That's all I'm saying.
Stuff was better when we were young.
Yeah, stuff was better when we were young.
See, this is the issue, is that people are going to just say that's what I'm saying. And I know to an extent that's what it is.
I agree with you. Hey, look, the 90s, The Simpsons. Job done. That's all you have to say.
That's
90s
true.
had Simpsons.
Yeah. This iced churro oat latte. Savor the perfect blend of sweet and spice of our churro latte, topped with a sprinkle of cinnamon sugar, made with your choice of milk, served over ice. Libby, you got the same thing.
Yeah.
With conventional milk. It was way too sweet at first. And then as the ice is melted, this is mellowed a little bit, and I'm just kind of getting the caffeine lift from it. But overall, this is a thing I would never get outside of for content.
Yeah, you need to stir it and honestly shake it a lot.
You do.
Because the syrup collects at the bottom, and you just my first sip was just a pure cinnamon syrup.
Right.
After that, once I mixed it in and it was melting a little bit. It was fine, but it sort of tasted dusty, that kind of replacement level sub Dunkin' syrup drink,
Yeah, it was like a themed frappuccino that you would get in a bottle. And it was also do I need a fucking churro drink?
Yeah.
Does that need to exist?
Yeah, and also it annoys me when they say churro when they mean cinnamon.
Right.
Taste of cinnamon, not churro.
To me, sub Dunkin' is every other coffee, by the way.
Of course, yes. I know.
It really does seem like the kind of thing where it's just it's designed to get you to drink it once because you like churros and you sort of hope it will be good.
Yeah.
And there's no other reason really for it to exist.
Yeah.
And it's not going to last. And that's, they got you,
They got me.
You saw the word churro and you're like, yeah, okay, I'll try that. That's interesting. That's different. Oh, yeah, it's just a sort of sweet, milky, cinnamony thing. That's kind of what I should have expected.
We got scammed.
Yeah.
Charlotte, I apologize if you already said, did you get any beverages?
Well, I specifically just got a San Pellegrino sparkling water, which is not obviously specific to Pret a Manger, but it is specific to my experience of going to Pret a Manger a lot. And so I was like, you know what? I could go for something kind of better for this podcast, but I'm like, they're going to order a ton of stuff. I'm just going to get the thing that I know and just love.
Yeah.
That's a part of it. I think that's a great choice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For me, a key Pret a Manger memory that I just remembered is that a lot of the time in DC, if I needed to use the loo, I would go to the Pret a Manger in Metro Center and buy a Diet Coke so that I had a reason to use the bathroom.
So this is a bathroom. It's mostly a bathroom.
It's a bathroom restaurant.
Station.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a time kill place. Yeah.
I did write down notes in relation to Pret a Manger's bathroom. I didn't know if that was going to be relevant because in the UK you do need to get your receipt, which will have the code for the bathroom, so that you can go in and use it.
Codes.
Right. No bathroom code, the one in Toronto, which I was very pleased about.
Wow, okay.
We've got the all gender bathrooms, which made me very happy, very comfy, really nice and clean. But they did have the incredibly fucked up, the Dyson tap that also has the hand dryer built into it, like over the sink.
I don't know about the Dyson.
I have not encountered this.
No, it's like a really long tab, covers like most of the sink, and then it has two like metal wings that come off either side, and then a little notice on the mirror above to give you instructions on how to use the terrifying 3-pronged tap in front of you. Which I think it's like Dyson, I feel like is known for having good design. And I feel like the idea of forcing someone to continue to stand in front of the sink to dry their hands is stupid.
That sounds
you've got it. That's like just ruining the flow. It's okay if it's just like if it's just, a toilet and a sink with that, then that's fine. I understand, which is what this was. But when I see those in like, big bathrooms, I'm like, this is just idiotic. You're holding up the flow of traffic here.
Yes.
Right. You're lengthening this choke point when it could be like broken into steps. I've not encountered that specifically. I will say the bathroom at the Westwood one, it had a restroom key, and it was like, I don't even know. I think it was like a bread basket that they weren't using, because it was like a huge like thing that you had to hold. Like, it was so big it fit on top of the toilet tank. It took up the entire toilet tank.
Wow.
And I was like, this is way too cumbersome for me to carry to the bathroom. But it's what they had there.
Toilet Tank's a good Shark Tank spinoff.
Yeah, that is a good Shark Tank spinoff, Mitch.
Bad image. By the way, I'm not trying to call you out, Amelia, but Charlotte was saying, I'm not sure if this is relevant to the combo, and you went, you very much wanted to hear the bathroom talk.
It's relevant.
And then you were more engaged in that than I've seen you the entire episode. You were very interested in the bathroom talk. I was noticing you nodding along over there. I did not, just the Headgum bathroom for me, because I did not go into Pret a Manger.
Do you have a review of the Headgum bathroom?
Too echoey. This is the issue with the Headgum one.
It is too echoey.
It's way too echoey.
It's quite cavernous in there, isn't it?
It is a little
unused
bit.
Space.
Hey, buddy, if you're like me, you've had some frustrations trying to send or receive money through an app. I've had to wait days for money to show up, or get hit with big fees just to move my own money. Or I accidentally sent money to the wrong person and there was no way to get it back. All these sorts of debacles can be a part of your experience, unless you're using Cash App. Cash App is a safe, easy, and fast way to send, receive, and transfer money to family and friends. It was so easy to get started. We set up our account in minutes. All you need is your phone or email. No bank account is needed. And hey, the money shows up right away. No waiting around for days. It's your money. You shouldn't have to wait. It's secure and safe. Cash App has your back. If you're about to send money to a sketchy account, a scam warning pops up. Do you feel way more relaxed knowing Cash App has your back? I sure do. And hey, it's great for customizing payments to friends and family. You got custom text, stamps, backgrounds. Makes splitting brunch after a few mimosas a little bit more fun. For a limited time only, new Cash App users can use our exclusive code to earn some additional cash. For real, there's no catch. Just download Cash App and sign up. Use our exclusive referral code Doughboys in your profile. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Hey, buddy, you know who's cute? Mitch's cats, Wally and Irma. They're like members of his family, and he's like their daddy. Wally, in fact, is named after Wollaston, Massachusetts. That's fun. And hey, this podcast is sponsored by Smalls. To get 35% off plus an additional 50% off your first order, head to smalls.com and use our promo code Doughboys for a limited time only. Smalls cat food is protein-packed recipes made with preservative-free ingredients you'll find in your fridge, and it's delivered right to your door. That's why Cats.com named Smalls their best overall cat food. Wow. Still not a believer in Smalls? Forbes ranks Smalls the best overall cat food, while BuzzFeed said, my cats went completely ballistic for this stuff. Smalls also has a bunch of amazing treats and snacks you can add to your order. Mitch's cats love the treats. After switching to Smalls, 88% of cat owners reported overall health improvements. That's a big deal. Have a particularly picky cat? Smalls has a sampler so your cat can try everything Smalls has to offer. And the team at Smalls is so confident your cat will love their product that you can try it risk-free. That means they will refund you if your cat won't eat their food. What are you waiting for? Give your cat the food they deserve. For a limited time only, because you are a Doughboys listener, you can get 35% off Smalls plus an additional 50% off your first order by using our code Doughboys. That's an additional 50% off when you head to smalls.com and use promo code Doughboys. Again, that's promo code Doughboys for an additional 50% off your first order, plus free shipping at smalls.com. We got to get to our final thoughts on Pret a Manger. So, Libby, you've done the podcast before. I will let you begin. But Charlotte, the way this will work, we'll each go around. We'll give our closing argument, if you will, on this particular chain, and then give it a score from 0 to 5 forks. Libby, we'll start with you. Your thoughts, your fork score on Pret a Manger.
Actually, before I do, I want Amelia to say the thing that they said to her when she came to pick up the food.
So I walk in there and they go, pick up? I go, yep. And they go, we were just talking about you.
Didn't you have another, you said you had a story too, right?
I told it already.
Oh, you told it already.
Yeah.
Oh, the croissant. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, really funny to think that you might be the first person to ever order pickup from that Pret. Yeah, I mean, look, with Pret, I think it's important to remember what you guys say all the time about these restaurants, which is like, how well is it doing the thing it's trying to do?
Right.
And I think it is doing the thing it's trying to do pretty well. You also do have to consider that the thing it's trying to do kind of sucks, which is like make a mid-sandwich experience that you can tolerate having basically every day of your office job. You know, you can stop in there on the way from the tube station to, you know, your job at the what would be a British job, the Baked Beans head office or whatever.
Yeah, Baked Beans head office.
Baked Beans head office.
A fish, a newspaper fish wrapper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How about 10 Downing Street? Let me tell you, they should get to work over there.
Yeah, I don't think they do very much work.
Yeah.
Abbey Road Crossing Guard.
BBC pedophile. So I don't know. I think Pret is like a very solid. If we're doing the thing of considering what they are doing, you know, like how well are they doing the thing they're trying to do? Yeah, sure. 3 forks.
3 forks. Okay. Charlotte, your thoughts, your fork score from 0 to 5.
And when it comes to this, am I reviewing my specific experience today or
Great question. You can think about a lifetime's worth of Pret visits.
I mean, if I'm thinking about a lifetime's worth, then I'm going 3.5 probably.
Wow.
And then this specific visit, I think it's coming down just to 2 or 3. I do feel like we're missing the vital context in this episode of the UK Pret, obviously. We're getting sort of like the knockoff experience here, where it's like it is very similar, but it's also been like slightly adjusted. And I do feel like one of the things I've realized is that I am less inclined personally towards the pre-prepared sandwiches now, having not had them for a long time. But yeah, I do feel like it still has a very soft spot in my heart, Pret, as like I think for me, I just always wanted to know a place I could go to lunch when I was out in the big city of London as a very anxious person. And to know that there are, I did write this down, 369 Pret a Mangers in London specifically.
Oh, wow.
And just knowing that there are so many, and it didn't really matter where I was going to be in London, I would always know that there will be a Pret that is easy for me to access. And I can go, actually, I'm going to move it up to 4 for my like overall experience.
Wow. 4
specifically for that, just for the like.
I love it.
It became quite a comfort to me to know that I always had access to that. But yeah, this specific Pret experience in Toronto, I'm going to give it a 3. It was nice that they had the CN Tower up on the wall in like the Pret style. That was quite fun.
That's fun.
That made me feel happy. Yeah.
That's the Nando's in Toronto is where I spent my summer basically.
Oh wow! Okay.
That's for lunch wags. I'd walk over to that Nando's in Toronto almost any day I had off. Almost, I loved it.
I had a lovely time in Toronto.
We had a good time, and I do want you to try. I do very much want you to try Nando's.
I'll try Nando's. At some point.
I think that you would enjoy it, even though Libby thinks it's shit. I think that you would like it more than Pret.
Look, this is an argument I had recently. I've mentioned him so many times, but this is an argument I had recently with Jesse Farrar because he was going to Toronto and he was saying, you know, he was there for like something stupid, like 48 hours. And he was saying to Stefan, let's go to the poop restaurant. Let's go to the restaurant where all the food is shaped like poop. And I was like, And Stefan was like, no, I did that in Taiwan and it sucked. And Jesse was like, I don't care. And I was like, Jesse, you have 48 hours to eat in like a really good food city.
Right.
And you're always complaining about the food where you're from. So just go and get the good food. And he was like, no, I want to go to the poop restaurant.
Yeah, he's
also, bear in mind, this is the only meal I got to have while they were here.
Yeah.
So did you go to the poop restaurant?
I didn't.
We did not go to the poop restaurant.
Okay.
No, I took them to General Assembly Pizza because it was a good pizza place that I knew, and I knew they liked pizza, and it was right next to a really fancy clothes store that they wanted to go to. I did nail it on the recommendation for
good
lunch.
Pizza in Toronto's got some good pizza.
It does have some good pizza. We've got a lot of good pizza here. Anyway,
my vote would be, although as much as I want to hear you talk about Nando's, don't waste a DC meal in Nando's because there's so many good places to eat in DC.
Wow.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Jesse is a dipshit. Wags, Pret a Manger. That's a way you can, you know what? It's a way you can describe me.
Ready to eat?
Ready to eat.
Ready to eat.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm ready to eat. I'm always Pret a Manger.
Hell, me too.
Pret a Manger? No. Pret a Manger? I don't know how you say it.
Are you manging minge?
No,
he's not doing that.
No,
he's definitely not doing that.
No. Oh, sacre bleu. I know. Pret a Manger, I am always ready to eat. It's just funny that I'm ready to eat, and what Pret a Manger has to offer, they're ready to serve you because it's all ready to go. It's all just sitting there, sitting around. Maybe it is a little too much of a USA attitude about the whole thing where I want it to be made fresh, and so that honestly, it's gonna ding this place for me no matter what. It's not gonna go on the Golden Plate Club for me. There's no way. That being said, the buffalo chicken sandwich, which was warm, it wasn't bad. It was bad, but it was fine. Right? Like, that's exactly what you said. You took a bite and you're like, this is bad, but it's kind of good.
Yeah, I thought it was bad, but it was not terrible.
Yeah.
And I like my egg salad sandwich more, but whatever.
The egg salad, I mean, and that's what I should have leaned into when I went there. I had the ham and cheese baguette slim or whatever. I had the small one. And I was like, oh, this is like this, the baguette tastes nice. Like this is the slim baguette I'm a fan of, and your egg salad sandwich I liked, and I was like, that's what I should have leaned into more of the thing that they're good at, and I didn't do that. Yeah. But the pastries, 3 out of 4 pastries were good that we had. They were decent. The lemonade drink was decent, and I think for what it is, for what it is, I think it's a 3-forker. I think it knows what it's doing, but it's not anything that I would care to go back. 3 is maybe even is generous, possibly, but it's fine.
Yeah.
If we were on the road and there was a Pret a Manger and we had to eat, we'd eat there and we'd be fine.
Yeah, I agree, and I think
so maybe
this
that's
is
2.5 forks.
I was wavering between 2.5 and 3 because here's the thing, Mitch. I said all that stuff about Americans, but I'm also American, and B, I'm like you. I want a good lunch.
Yeah.
I want to eat good food, and I want it fresh, and I want it my way, and I want it with extra jalapenos.
Yeah.
And I want it with French fries.
You've convinced me. 2.5 forks. It is 2. It's 2.5. It's 2.5.
It's going to be 3 forks for me. I just feel like this is a place where everything is totally fine, and it's an interesting companion piece with last week's chain Panera, which is, they do have like pre-made pastries, but it is more of like you're ordering a salad, you're ordering a sandwich, you're ordering a hot dish, they're making it in store, but it's trying for basically the exact same thing that Pret a Manger is, which is just a functional sort of workday lunch. And I'd rather eat at Panera.
One of the Headgum hunks just walked in with a handle of vodka. Just walked in with a handle of vodka. We also got in here. There was old taco meat.
Yeah, there was taco meat from the previous day, just like a chafing dish full of fajita meat. It had been sitting at room temp for 24 hours.
I think I'm gonna go play beer pong with the hunks. I'll see you guys later.
That would be the perfect encapsulation of Nick and I's life, is that if the lady who was here to visit us left the room as we were just recording a podcast and played beer pong with the Headgum hunks.
I think mine would be being reluctantly let in to the room of the hunks. It's like, yeah, okay, I guess.
Fuck those hunks.
I think this place, obviously it's owned by the same company as Panera, which is its own thing. But
yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
Those hunks wouldn't know what to do with that minge if it was right in front of them. I'm going to say it. I'm going to outright say it.
Oh my god. They wouldn't know how to mange it at all.
No.
No. That's right.
It's good to not be a hunk.
Yeah, I hate the hunks.
We're normal men.
Yeah,
I strap my CPAP on left to right just like every other man every night.
I'm a normal man. I think they... I just feel like this place is like, you have to be selective with what you get, and I would lean into the cold instead of the hot, although maybe depending on a YMMV, you might end up in a situation like Charlotte where the cold is too cold. But I don't know. It's like it's not a place to get excited about. It's not a place to get pissed off about either. And for me, that puts it right in the sweet spot of Three Forks, and that's where I'm landing.
I think this is where I'm at with it, which is like Panera is like a completely fucking middle of the road lunch chain.
Yeah,
it's everywhere, and it's very bog standard, and it's not that good, but it is still always trying to pitch itself as like a kind of premium experience.
Right.
And Pret is also trying to pitch itself as a premium experience because compared to the rest of British food, it kind of is.
Oh, no.
So
Libby's right.
Yeah, compared to Tesco,
you
at
are
least,
right.
Panera is kind of a slightly elevated Pret to me. So from my one experience.
If I had a choice between going to Pret and Panera, I'm picking Panera every damn day.
For sure.
Wow. Well,
I think the thing about it as well is it's a really bad Los Angeles lunch as well.
Sure.
Right?
It's like the best food city in the world.
In the US, most of the Prets are in New York. Yeah. And it makes so much sense to me that you would be like, I don't know, you're downtown, you're working at your finance job, and you just need your food to eat, and you're going to grab your Pret sandwich and then head on out. Mm-hmm. And it's very similar here in Toronto. It's very similar in London. But lunch is a destination when you're in Los Angeles. And so it just seems... It's so silly to drive to the place that has the prepackaged sandwiches if you have to go somewhere,
Yeah,
that's very
totally.
True.
Yeah, no, the driving thing actually is such a good point because if you're driving to go to Pret, you fucked up.
And it's in the Westfield Mall on top of that, right?
Yes,
that's where it is, which is just
Yeah, I just happened to be there the other day and really bad vibes.
Nightmare.
Yeah, very, very scary.
I took the bus to Pret, and it's a lovely bus ride.
That's great. I love that bus.
That's nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
Is that the big blue bus?
Yeah, it's a big blue bus.
You used to be able to get those for 25 cents with your Bruin card.
Isn't that wild to think about?
I know.
Yeah, not anymore.
And you would wear an onion on your belt.
Wow, that does it for Pret.
Hey, that's our review of Pret. It's time for a segment. Can Mitch and Libby and Charlotte solve my baked goods mystery and outwit the world's greatest bread detective? That's right. It's the return of Sherlock Crumbs.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Okay.
He's having issues because he's trying to get the hat over his headphones.
I can't get the hat over my headphones. Okay, hold on.
Take the headphones off.
Hold on. No, because I needed to hear Charlotte.
Where did you get this?
Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm ready to go.
Okay, actually,
we'll pick it up from here.
It kind of suits him.
It does kind of suit him.
Low-key suits him.
It's the return of Sherlock Crumbs.
Oh, God.
It is.
Like I'm tricked.
Culinarily, my dear Spoonman.
This is a sort of thing like if I just this is like if like you could this person could be in a mental asylum.
Yeah, give him a pair of slippers. And he's
I love that I know how to text my friends and say I'm going to be late to bar trivia because we got to do Sherlock Crumbs.
Trivia of a different sort. I present to you a series of distinct plates of crumbs in sequence. You must divine the source of these crumb leavings using your skills of intuition alone. Amelia, what is our first plate of crumbs?
All right, here's the first plate.
Are you actually going to give us a plate? Oh, you're just showing us. Didn't you give us plates of crumbs before?
Yeah, but Charlotte's not in studio, so we got to have a photo
I get it.
Everyone can play.
By the way, Slim Baguette.
That was Weiger. Sherlock Crumbs is here. Going.
Slim Baguette seems like an associate of Sherlock Crumbs. Doesn't it, Slim? Oh, no, never
Slim
mind.
Baguette? No, I'm with you. Yeah.
I'm sure fucking Sherlock Crumbs didn't like it.
Well,
I stared at me.
My actual associate, much like Sherlock Holmes' brother Mycroft Holmes, is my brother Rycrust Crumbs.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my.
That's why Slim Baguette didn't register for him. He had some other fucking bullshit. I have a guess on what this is. I think we all do.
Yes, I do as well.
Mm-hmm.
We all think it's a croissant.
It's a croissant.
We all think it's a croissant.
We all
Absolutely.
think it's a croissant.
100%.
Correct, it is a croissant.
Fucker.
Culinarily, my dear Spoon Man. Next up.
Oh.
Okay.
And this
Most
is a baked
interesting plate of crumbs.
Ooh, I think I have a guess at least.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess a cake.
My guess
I was
is
gonna
like
say Cheetos.
I was gonna say Doritos or
dust,
Cheetos.
But
yeah,
that's not a baked good.
it's a little big though. It looks like goldfish flakes almost.
It's a big pile.
You've got us good here, Sherlock Crumbs. What's your brother's name again?
Rye crust crumbs.
That's right.
Rye crust.
That's why you gave me no response to Slim Baguette again.
You
It's
couldn't
because
think
of
of one
rye crust
Clunge. Rye crust clunge. Yeah.
Do you know who created me?
Ooh.
Sir King Arthur Flower Conan Doyle.
Love his work. Wait, do you have one for Watson?
Spoon Man.
Wowtson.
Wowtson, that's good too.
Wowtson.
Wheatson?
Wheatson. I actually can't figure this one out. This is this one's hard.
I think it's like Doritos or Cheetos, but that's not a baked good, and I'll be pissed if it's those things. So I'm going to say cake.
It's Cheeto dust.
Cheeto dust.
It's Cheeto dust.
Charlotte, I think, got that one. I mean,
how many more do we have,
Charlotte
Amelia? We have one more?
I did get it.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 more.
Wow.
We don't have to go through all of them.
Let's do like one more, and then we'll keep moving.
Well, I think we could do it. We can do a speed round.
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, let's do it fast.
Do you think?
Cookies.
Cookie.
What kind?
Chocolate. Raisin.
Oatmeal chocolate.
Ding, ding, ding.
Oatmeal chocolate chip.
Yes.
I feel like I've just to give a note to Amelia, I feel like Sherlock Crumbs should have the answer key.
Well, here's the thing. Sherlock Holmes really good at his job, but Sherlock Crumbs kind of
sucks. Yeah, Sherlock Crumbs seems like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oreo?
Oreo. That's a grand up Oreo. I was going to say coffee because I'm a dumbass.
It's Oreo.
Are you sure? yes, you are. Let's do a speed level. Why don't you put up the last 3? Is there 3 left?
Yes.
Cornflakes or potato.
Oh,
Are these even crumbs? It's just like cornflakes.
They're just food. You're Sherlock food.
Look, it's hard to find crumbs not in studio.
Is that cornflakes?
It looks like brittle or something, doesn't it?
It
like
looks,
peanut brittle.
To me, this is like a broken up like one of those waffles.
That is
like
correct.
Wow,
Yeah.
Charlotte, you're knocking it out of the park.
She's Sherlock
I'm doing
Crumbs.
pretty good, yeah.
Now that is just cereal.
That's cereal. Yeah,
That's just
that's like
cereal.
Honey Bunches of Oats.
What kind? I actually don't. Raisin Bran? The nut. What is the nut brand? What is the brand one?
Crunchy nut?
Crunchy Nut, yeah,
Oh,
something like
Crunchy
that.
Nut cereal?
Love Crunchy Nut cornflakes.
Yeah, me too.
Crackling Oat Bran.
Honey Bunches of Oat. Dear Spoon Man.
All right.
All right.
This is the last one.
Is this the last one for real?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Last one. This is just food. These are all food.
Yeah, I think what that is food. It's a pile of food.
That looks like food to me.
It looks like granola, maybe, or like a granola
to me, this
cookie.
This looks like you've got a digestive, just a plain digestive biscuit, and you've got a
Ooh,
bunch
a
of those, and they've
hobnob.
gotten broken up.
It's an hobnob.
Sherlock Holmes hasn't said anything for like 3 minutes.
What he's thinking? He's in his mind palace, you know.
This case reminds me of the time I cracked the sign of the flower, based off of the sign of the 4, which was a Sherlock Holmes.
I thought you were giving us a clue.
He's just doing his little
You're just doing
bits.
puns. This looks like. I just want to say this. The last 4 of these have all looked the same. They look like oatmeal or cereal or fucking. They all look alike. I'm gonna say this is some sort of brand again. I have no idea. What do you think?
I think it's like a granola type food.
Granola.
It's a Ritz cracker.
What?
That's fucking.
Ritz cracker.
Look, I'll say this: the photos are really well done. They're really good photos.
Another case
This was a great segment.
Another case solved
Look, this
by the
segment,
inimitable Sherlock Crumbs. And remember, whenever you have eliminated the impossible,
this segment,
whatever remains, however improbable, must be the recipe. Yeah, that went great. Just like a restaurant, hey, that was Sherlock Crumbs. Just like a restaurant about your feedback. That's up to the feedback. Today's email is from Caroline. Caroline writes, I'm from Nova Scotia where McDonald's does a McLobster during lobster season. Dairy Queen does a scallop basket in the summer. They're both pretty good, not top tier, but acceptable for the price. Subway has also done a lobster sub in the past. Not sure if they still do. What local specialty or ingredient would you like to see a fast food chain put their twist on? Nova Scotia McDonald's.
Wow.
They got a lobster surplus up there, just like they do up in New England. And so they have a McLobster seasonally.
You got some Sherlock threads on your head.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Do from your Amazon Basics Sherlock hat.
It's still there.
Do you want me to get it for you?
Yeah, Sherlock thread. There it is.
There we go.
Wow.
So what's the question again? Sorry, I was distracted by your thread.
What local specialty or ingredient would you like to see a fast food chain put their twist on?
I mean, last time I was here, we did Del Taco and they had the birria.
Oh, yeah,
birria tacos.
That's
and I feel
fun.
like that was, I mean, I don't know if that's like necessarily an LA special, but, certainly like, I don't know, would a McDonald's taco be fucking crazy?
It's certainly a thing. Yeah, I would just say IHOP has tacos now. That's the thing they've been showing.
Oh, really?
On the menu. Yeah, IHOP has tacos.
Damn.
So, it's like, I think what Caroline is looking for more is something that is, locally harvested or locally produced. And I'm just not quite sure what it's not like everyone has like a commercial, like, fishery or whatever has that. That's not necessarily the economic engine of every area.
How about like Mick corn, a fresh corn on the cob?
That sounds
Mick corn is kind of fun.
so good. Mick corn.
A fresh corn on the cob. Yeah, because they're usually processing corn into something else, into corn meal. But yeah, if they just had like a corn cob, why not? Why can't you get one in a fast food restaurant?
I understand this answer is not what they're looking for, but I would like the Muck sausage roll.
Oh my God, Charlotte, yes. I was just thinking, like, if there was a, like a British McDonald's, what would it be? Like the Muck jacket potato?
Yeah, sure.
I love McJacket. McJacket potato's great.
Yeah. Or like a Muck toasty.
Yeah.
McJacket toasty.
Yeah.
Sounds
Well, we
like
talked
Mick Jagger.
about.
That's what I was gonna say. Mick Jacket would be like a Pixar character voiced by Mick Jagger and like
that's good.
Pixar's closet.
Pixar's closet.
Yeah.
Don't give them ideas.
What goes on in there when the doors are closed?
That's a great question.
We're gonna find out.
We talked about when you were on What's All This Then? We talked about the Subway hot cross bun.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
They were doing that over there, and they were all just saying like it was terrible.
Shit.
Yeah.
How about a po' boy? Give me a fast food po' boy.
Yeah,
Po' boy's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't get that po' boy on a large scale. You know what I mean? They don't try to do the fast food places don't try to do it.
I'm trying to think of because the thing is like LA has so many types of cuisine, but it's like hard to like zero in on one specific thing.
Like something that's grown here.
Exactly.
We have our citrus trees.
Yeah, would have been oranges back in the day, maybe. Or like avocados.
Guava, cherimoya. Is a fruit that you see at farmers markets here.
Here's one for you. McOyster.
Okay.
Ooh.
Pretty good.
I don't know about that.
They come shucked on they're on the half shell there. Or served on the half shell. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And they got mignonette sauce and they're ready to slurp them down through the drive-thru.
And then you get lovely norovirus as well.
Wise, are you a big chia eater? Because we wanted a chia seed thing earlier. I strictly grow chia. I have a Homer chia. That's what I usually keep my chia to. But are you a big chia eater?
No, I'm not like a big chia guy. I can't say.
Oh, all right. That's what you wanted today. So
I've kind of become chia pilled. I've started doing overnight
You're into
oats.
chia.
Yeah.
Charlotte, where are you on chia?
I guess I'm anti-chia.
Anti-chia. Interesting.
Yeah.
It looks like frog's eggs.
It does look like frog's eggs.
It does look like frog's eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's slimy, and it gets stuck in your teeth.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. But it's fun to grow Yoda's hair out with my chia pets.
That is nice when the guy from the thing has the green hair. That's a lot of fun.
Yoda Minge.
Yoda's Minge is nice.
That's the Yaddle Minge.
Yaddle Minge, yeah.
That's the chia pet I have is the Yaddle Minge. It's very rare.
I mean, Stefan sends us kind of a lot of pics. I don't know if he sends these to you, but he sends us a lot of pics of Yoda's Minge.
Is this true, Stefan?
If you ask, look, send him a text right now. He'll send you 50 different AI-generated images of Yoda with big fat pussy lips.
Jesus Christ. We got to get him on the show.
What a naughty, naughty man.
Here's the issue is that I feel like this has been done so much, like a local favorite being brought around.
And something like the McRib is like so seasonally timed to when pork prices are, like that there's, I forget whether they're high or low, whatever it is, when it makes economic sense for them to be doing that.
Brendan told me that it's when China has a pork surplus. I didn't fact check that, but it definitely sounds believable.
Yeah. I got one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Charlotte, there's a sandwich in Toronto that's basically just a ham sandwich, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's a famous Toronto treat.
The Toronto ham.
Yes, the Toronto hammy. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Hold on, I'm gonna find out the name of it.
Oh, what about like a maple thing? That's Canadian. That
maple
could be
kind of fun.
Yeah, like
maple is good.
Yeah, like a maple milkshake or something. Maple ice cream is really good.
Pea meal sandwich.
Pea meal sandwich.
Pea meal sandwich. That is a famous.
I prefer poop meal.
That's fucking sick. It's the grossest thing that's been said in the whole podcast.
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting.
Sorry.
I've been hanging out with Jesse too long.
Yeah. I have actually.
The pea meal sandwich is one that I haven't seen, but it is just like a ham sandwich, basically.
Yeah.
Ham is great. I mean, like the French ham and butter thing. Oof.
Man, I've never had a brie and butter croissant.
I'm letting Susser.
Oh, I've never had a brie and butter croissant. I'm sorry, baguette.
Mm-hmm.
A brie and butter baguette. That would be fun.
By the way, I don't know if that got picked up by the mics, but Amelia's exiting the studio to let Susser in for some reason.
Let Susser in for some reason. Here he is.
He heard us talking about ham.
He heard there was leftover taco meat.
Anyway, Carolyn, I hope we answered your question. If you have a question or comment about the world of chain restaurants, you can email us at feedback@birdfuck.com or leave us a voicemail at 830-GO-TO. That's 830-463-6844. Our producer is Emma Erdbrink. Our associate producer is Amelia Marino. Our supervising video producer is Casey Donahue. Our video editor is Mike Dorfman. Special thanks to Sherlock Crumbs, whoever that was, just mysteriously disappeared out of studio. Doughboys apparel and merchandise available in partnership at kinshipgoods.com/Doughboys. And to get the Doughboys
you want us to think it's a different person. This is a whole layer.
Yes, I don't know what happened.
Okay.
It was great.
I saw you put on the hat, man.
It was like a whole thing.
You need to leave the room.
He had the threads on his head afterwards.
And to get the Doughboys Double, our weekly bonus episode, plus our entire pre-2018 back catalog, subscribe at patreon.com/Doughboys. Yeah, who is Sherlock Crumbs? One mystery we'll never solve. Charlotte McDonnell and Libby Watson, thanks so much for being here. What's all this then? My episode where I learned all about UK chain Greg's is out now. People should listen to that. But tell everyone again about the podcast and what they should be, where they can listen to it.
Charlotte, you do it. I have stuff in my throat.
Well, you can listen to it in everywhere you get podcasts, assuming we did it right. I mean, we've never done a podcast before. We have just started it. Honestly, we both probably should have started a podcast a while ago. But yeah, every week we tackle a different aspect of British culture, a different bit of the UK, and bring on a guest. And importantly, don't do much research or fact checking. It's very silly and funny, and it's a good time. And I'm really happy to be doing a podcast with my cool friend Libby.
Oh, that rules.
Yeah, we seem to like each other a lot more than you guys like each other so far.
Did you leave Charlotte off your list of favorite Brits or something?
Yeah. Anyway, so thanks so much, Charlotte.
We covered Greg's. You covered Tesco with Jesse Farrar, but you're not just covering restaurants. You're covering everything, all things British culture.
Episode 2 is about Mr. Blobby, which is
what the fuck?
I'm going to pull up a photo for you.
That's the Doughboys in Britain.
Mr. Blobby is a beloved children's TV character and also just general TV character in Britain.
Wow.
And he's a big pink guy with yellow spots, and he looks like this.
Oh God! What an abomination!
Yeah. And he can only say blobby as well. He just says blobby, blobby, blobby as he runs around and sort of like knocks into things and ruins people's day.
So it's like Pokemon rules.
It's very much like Pokemon, yeah. So what?
I would say that Pokemon is Mr. Blobby rules. I think Mr. Blobby came first.
Mr. Blobby came first. That's true. Yeah, absolutely. I think Nintendo saw that and they were like, we got to do something like this. But we'll cover all kinds of stuff. Obviously, food is a big thing for both of us, but we'll talk about other stores, other TV shows, stuff from our childhoods, places in the UK. What's the deal with Cornwall? I don't know. we'll find out.
I enjoyed watching the In-Betweeners when I was over in Ireland for a stretch of time.
Yeah, Briefcase Wanker is an all-time joke for me.
Briefcase Wanker?
Yeah,
you wouldn't get it, Wags.
Yeah, kid with a briefcase. They call him Briefcase Wanker. What else do you need to know?
That's pretty good.
I met the In-Betweeners. I was hosting an award at the BAFTAs.
Wow.
Because it was, I was like, I did a lot of, we're doing the podcast now and I still do YouTube sometimes, but back in the day I was a big old YouTube kid. And I think YouTube was sponsoring the Audience Award. And so they were like, we have to get a YouTuber to present this award at the BAFTAs. And I was like, it was cool to be like just famous enough to present an award at the BAFTAs, but not famous enough to be able to like have someone buy a suit for me for it. So I had to spend like a lot of money just to hand over the award. I remember one of the In-Betweeners like giving me the like weakest handshake in the world and just being like, yeah, you're right. Well, thanks for the award. And then walking off. I'm sure they're very nice, but in the moment I was like, okay, oh, well, I got to be on television.
I call them the Wankers, actually, now after I've heard that story.
Wow.
The Wankers. Yeah.
That's an ally.
That's right. That's right. And also our Patreon. We should also plug our Patreon. We are putting out free episodes every week, but patreon.com/what's all this then for bonus content where it's mostly just me and Charlotte and we're being kind of naughty a lot of the time.
Wow.
We're saying minge and stuff and we're being rude about people and
I love it.
And maybe we'll talk about Charlotte's interesting past too.
Wow.
I have a very storied life.
She really does. It's crazy. Yeah. I'm so boring.
Well, we got two boring guys on our show. We're very boring.
No.
Wow. I think quite exciting.
I liked that guy with the hat before. I thought he was exciting.
Yeah, he was fun. Try to get him back. What's all this then? Check it out wherever you listen to podcasts. That'll do for this episode of Doughboys. And until next time, for the Spoonman, Mike Mitchell, I'm Tiger Weiger. Happy eating.
And as Shakespeare would say, I have a quote.
Let me eat your minge.
To eat minge or not to eat minge? That is the question.
That was a Headgum podcast.